You'd better put a chick in it. And make it fucking gay as fuck.
Going somewhere?
And I want it lame!
Put her on a path of her own choosing, so that no matter which direction she takes, we'll always be one step ahead of her.
What?
That is so lame!
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt! G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Prepare to start the show, R2. This is where the fun begins. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Casual Rage 154, where we casually rage out about the topics of the week. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right. There's a fair bit to talk about, actually. There's a fair bit of Star Wars stuff that I've seen throughout this last week that we've got to talk about. We've got a couple of trailers to watch as well. There was a Civil War trailer. To me, it's probably nowhere near as probably as bad as a lot of the Americans think. And I don't know what you guys actually think about it. So it'd be interesting to see what a lot of you guys actually think about that trailer that came out. We've also, this morning, I saw a Beverly Hills Cop trailer. So we'll probably watch that as well. But there's, it's so funny with the Star Wars stuff. They've been trying to, I don't know, sort of try and make it relevant. They dropped a rumor. I don't know who dropped the rumor. It was about the Mandalorian season 4. We talked about it last week, how they're going to turn that into a movie. And then, of course, that's been denied. And they're saying that it's going to go just be a series. I feel like a lot of these things are coming out because they just want to try and make Star Wars relevant. Try and keep people talking about it. They've come out with some of the behind-the-scenes stuff from Ahsoka and The Mandalorian. Probably in their eyes, their two best shows, like Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Andor, aren't that good. So they don't really care about showing sort of behind-the-scenes stuff to those shows. Like, why would they really? Of course, we've got Seal of the Week, and we've got a fair bit to talk about. We're going to be watching the third video in the Sparrow files, thanks to Melvin, the Knights of Melvin. We didn't watch the second one last week because I didn't want to, if you guys want to actually watch them. But then when I was in the chat on his stream throughout the week this week, he's like, oh, I want you to watch them. So we're definitely going to watch that. But before we get stuck into everything, let me quickly say hello to some of the people here in the chat. We've got Corey. We've got Cellshade here. Dude, that whole thing with Twitch is actually like, I don't know. They may as well just make it 18 plus content now with how crazy they're going with all of that stuff. Obviously, I dropped my link there to my Streamlabs. If you'd like to go around the YouTube percentage that they take out, you can, of course, drop a super chat over on Streamlabs. That'd be greatly appreciated. We've got Star Wars Marvel Purist. How you doing, Star Wars Marvel Purist? He's going to be lurking. He's in lurk mode today. So, yes, please do smash that like button. Good to see you, and thanks for being here. We've got the Fractured Filter, who always does come back as well for his 5-month member chat. He says, have an awesome stream. Catch you on the replay. Yes, we will catch you on the replay, Fractured Filter. Good to see you. Multi Madley, how you doing? Matt, I don't know if I ever say that name right. Sorry. I'm retarded. Remember that. Tyranazilla, there's another one. Lock S foils in attack position, yes. And like that copy red leader. Very nice, very nice. We've got Pro Jack fan in the chat. Let's see who else we got here. LDT3, the Silver Battleship. Good to see you. Ahsoka equals lame. Yes, it does. We've got Melissa Lord here. How you doing, Melissa? We've got the Nuisance Bird. We've got Tuscan Bob. G'day, Greg. Using that South Park, I'm guessing you mean clip, is lame and gay as fuck. Well,
Put a chicken in it and make it lame and gay.
there you go. There you go. Good to see you. Let's see who else we got here. We've got Mike Hill saying the past week I started rewatching Stargate SG-1. That's awesome. And about to finish the first season. Hey, I want to just elaborate on that a little bit. But before I do, just in case, green hair anti-liberal. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by and smashing that like button and saying hi. I will have a good stream. Thank you. But she is going to be on the Full Aussie this weekend, I believe. So, unfortunately, I might only have a cameo. It depends on how long my work Christmas party goes for, and how drunk I get. But I may be there. You may see me just jump in for a little bit, or I might end up getting home and then I can just jump in and drunk as fuck, and we'll have a bit of fun with that. But she's going to be on the Full Aussie this week. Just back to Mike Hill's chat here. Stargate SG-1 Season 1. Obviously, they've got to, construct where the story is going, the plot, and like the through lines for each season. And obviously, there are some episodes in there that then carry over into Season 2, and some even carry over into Season 3. And it pushes forward sort of like that. And they sort of overlap these storylines and things like that. The one thing that I really loved about Season 1 is that there's so much to take in from Season 1. And it can be a little bit slow at times because it's just building, right? And obviously the SGC is just sort of starting to figure out all of this stuff and getting all these new destinations and figuring out that it doesn't just take them to Abydos and all of that sort of thing. But I love the final couple of episodes because obviously that senator comes in. I can't remember his name, and he's basically saying how this thing should be shut down. And they go through a lot of the previous episodes. It's almost like a recap, but it's in episode, and it's done so well that it recaps things that you kind of sit there and go, oh, that's right, that happened. And that's right, that happened. And the way you watch it as an audience member, you see how oh, you nearly brought this plague upon Earth because you brought this disease through the Stargate or something like, and you see it from a different angle. Not that you think that the SGC or Stargate Command or anything like that should be shut down. As an audience member, you're hating this senator. I can't remember his exact name, but fuck, it's good. It's such a good series. And in the new year, I am definitely going to, I don't know how many clicks it's going to get. I don't know how many viewers are actually going to be interested in watching something that's what came out in the 90s, and seeing a person's new thoughts and reviews of these episodes. But I'm just going to do it. Have them on the channel. Put them into playlists for season 1 playlist, season 2 playlist, season 3 playlist. And, over time, they might get some good views. You never really know. But, it's not like it's super trending or anything like that. So, anyway, thank you. Let's see. Scipio's in the chat. How you doing? Casual rage. Come on, Rhino. We want all the rampaging rage. Yes. It's funny. I was actually, and I think I talked about this last week as well. When The Last Jedi came out, and of course, the Rise of Skywalker, I was super angry. And the rage was easy to come by. Now I've kind of gotten so used to the destruction of Star Wars that it's like, obviously there'll be stuff that comes up and stupid shit that people say, like Star Wars theory and stuff like that, where it will really grind my gears and I'll get really angry about it and arc up. But I've kind of gotten a little bit more numb to it. So the rage isn't as easy to come by, but you never really know. You never really know. We might watch a clip today of something, a behind the scenes thing or something, and somebody says something really stupid and I just snap. Just fucking snap. Let's see who else we got here. Just scrolling through. Good to see all you guys. Oh God. Dan Blackroyd, how you doing, Blake? Good to see you. Bad Batch is great. Needs a trilogy. Yeah, maybe Ryan Johnson can do that as a trilogy. The Axel F trailer makes it look good. I haven't watched it yet. I saw it and I'm like, all right, we'll watch that on stream. It's, you know what it is? A trailer can look good. A trailer could look good. But I just don't trust Hollywood. I just don't trust them anymore. Yeah. Sorry, I missed you there, Joshua. Good to see you. I just don't trust them to do these things, these continuations of stories, these remakes and all of that sort of thing. I don't trust them to do it any justice. So I guess we'll have to just wait and see. But yeah, we'll have to just wait and see. G'day. Good to see you. How you doing? Let's see, who else have we got? Papa Palpatine's Pizza Padawan. How you doing? Brightest Days in the chat. Soul Assassins here as well. Good to see all the familiar faces. Can't watch it. You recommended it. That's true. If you don't know the meme, Tuscan Bob doesn't watch anything I recommend. Ever. No matter how hard I try. We've sat there sometimes and I'm like, Greg, just please, just watch like fucking, what was it? Idiocracy. I wanted him to watch Idiocracy so bad. He's like, no, I'm never watching it. Never watching it. Z says, I'll watch you talk about Stargate. Awesome. Appreciate that. The thing is, I do find it easy to talk about, obviously, things that I love. You know, despite how much I hate what Disney's done with Star Wars, I find it easy to talk about because I love it so much and I know it, right? I'm not saying I know it better than the next person or anything like that. I know it to the level that I know it. And it makes it easy to talk about because I can sort of, how Alora says, compare and contrast to, let's say, the EU or something like this. So it's easy for me to actually just let it roll off the tongue, and I can give examples and give my thoughts on these things. And it's sort of the same thing with Stargate. I think I'm watching it with a mate of mine, and we because he's got a young family, he's got kids and all of that sort of thing. We do struggle to get through like at the pace that I would normally get through it. But that's my third watch through. So this, when I do these reviews for the channel, it'll be my fourth time watching through 10 seasons of Stargate SG-1. And I feel like by then I will have been able to get enough out of it. Because each time you watch something like that, you do get more out of each episode. Not every episode, because there are some filler episodes in there. But see, I don't have a problem with filler episodes in a season that's 25 episodes long and every episode is 45 minutes long. You know, it's when you get something like what Disney's done, where you get a series that's 8 episodes long. You don't have a lot of time in there. You've got some episodes that are just under 30 minutes long, and then you got some episodes that are just over 40 minutes long or something like this, and it's all over the place. But you got 8 episodes to tell a story, and then you get 1 or 2 filler episodes in there. It's absolute garbage. Anakin Skywalker's in the chat. How you doing, Anakin? Good to see you. Who else have we got here? We've got Becky's here. How you doing, Becky? Good to see you as well. Again, all the usual faces. Let's see. Shirley's in the chat. Good to see you. Of course. Always good to see you. All right. I'm pretty caught up there in the chat. All right. I want to... I just want to bring this up really quickly because I may have missed it. I may have actually been told about this, but I may have missed it. And Russell Hall's here as well. Good to see you, Russell. Good to see you, Russell. All right. So, Grizzy. You may know the name. Grizzy has been a great supporter of this channel, and I've been a great supporter of his. He's done the Lord's work. He's done some great work out there in the community. Obviously, tearing apart a lot of the shills out there that react to Star Wars, Marvel, Lord of the Rings, like, you know, those new Lord of the Rings shows, all the stuff. He just clips it all together. He does a fantastic job with it. And I only just found this out the other day that he's actually been demonetized. It was a month or so ago, something like that. Now, obviously, Grizzy's upped the work that he's been doing out there. Not only does he do these sort of reaction videos, you know, shills or soy boys return, like he's now started doing a little bit of commentary stuff. So he's been, you know, evolving his videos. They're actually, some of them are really fucking good, and he gets some great views on them. You know, 12,000, 10,000, 10,000. His latest one has got 6,500 views. Now, he did get a few shout outs like this one here, 108,000 views. Fantastic for a channel with 12,000 subscribers, 12,500 subscribers. Excellent stuff. There's some really, really good videos that he puts out. Now, from my understanding of basically what's happened is people didn't like the fact that he was clipping them out and displaying them as shills, seals, whatever you want to fucking call them. And I just hate it. I hate how that happens. So, look, there's nothing really I can do too much about it, or anyone can really do too much about it. He's got to, you know, reach out to YouTube, which I believe that he's been doing. He's been doing everything he can. But I just think it's a little unfair. You know, he gets monetized. He's just putting his opinion out there. He's just giving his commentary on stuff. He's clipping out these shills and, you know, portraying them the way he views them. There should be nothing wrong with that. Should be allowed to monetize that. So, you know, if you're not subscribed to Grizzy, give him a sub. Go over. I'm going to drop the link actually here in the chat. Because again, he does some excellent videos, some really, really good stuff. So I just wanted to give him a shout out and say it's ridiculous what's happened in regards to his channel being demonetized. Foster's, it's for Australian beer. Get the fuck out of here, Russell. Fucking Foster's. Yeah. So if you're not subscribed to Grizzy, go over, give him a sub. He does some great work. Let's just watch. Let's watch a little bit of his newest video here.
Disney Star Wars.
Oh, I should. Hang on. I'm gonna have to re-share the screen. Because as soon as I plug in my headphones, the audio will disappear. So this is like one of his new formatted videos where he's actually giving a little bit of commentary, his own commentary behind it, which is really, really good.
So as we all know, over the past 10 years or so, since this god-awful day, Disney Star Wars has been taking L after L after L after L after L after L after L. And if this report is to be believed, then we may have yet another massive L on the way from Disney Star Wars. With The Mandalorian Season 4 being converted into a movie.
No, all right. I know that sounds bad.
Hollywood insider Jeff Snyder said that the odds are in its favor that a movie of The Mandalorian is on the way in place of a fourth season.
You know, whatever the season 4 of The Mandalorian turns out to be, you know, whoever's in it, what shape it takes, it is looking like that could be the next Star Wars movie.
Claiming this may be due to disruption caused by the writers and actors strikes earlier this year. And
anyway, I don't want to watch the whole video because, again, I don't want to take any views or anything away from him. I know we watch, you know, some videos in full, but that's not why I wanted to do this. I just wanted to show you he is putting a bit of commentary in behind it. The movie will be 43 minutes. Yeah, that's true. That's kind of funny. But yeah, so if you're not subscribed to Grizzy, go over, give him a sub, watch his videos. They are really good. And yeah, I just wanted to give him a shout out and say, well done on all the work that you're doing. It's bullshit what YouTube has done in regards to taking away your monetization. You know, when we start these channels, when people start YouTube channels and things like that, I don't think it's, you know, for the money. Like, it certainly wasn't even that for me. The money and you know, the ad revenue and the super chats and all of that sort of thing is a bonus. You know, it definitely helps, and it definitely, you know, it's a great thing having that support, but that's not why we do it. We do it for the love of whatever it is that we're talking about, or whatever it is that we're breaking down, or whatever it is that we're showing. But once, you know, you become monetized, you sort of get used to the fact that, yeah, you're getting a small little income from this. It's nice. And then they just take it away from you because some people are butthurt because you're talking about them or you're showing them in a way that they don't want to be shown. You know, well, stop seal clapping. Stop seal clapping the bullshit, and maybe you won't get into one of Grizzy's videos. So anyway, if you're not subscribed to Grizzy, please go over and give him a sub. And give him some support because he could use it. The Sparrow Files were great today. Well, we're going to watch the third edition of the Sparrow Files today in between the Seal of the Week. So get ready for that. We didn't watch the second one. If you want to watch, you can obviously go over to Knights of Melbourne's channel. This is the third edition to the Sparrow Files, but we are going to watch it because we got exclusive permission from Mauler, from Melbourne to watch on stream. So I love that. It's great. Yeah, it is. It really is. It's like the amount of research and the amount of work that Melvin puts into these videos is so good. So good. There's even some stuff there where I'm sitting there going, fuck, because it's all behind a paywall, right? So, and I don't really pay attention to it. It's not like I'm subscribed to Cameron Pasha's YouTube or I watch Doomcock or anything like that. But yeah. These Sparrow files are fucking fantastic. Just sub to Grizzy. Good stuff. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Our little corner of the internet over here, the ones that are all pretty much aligned with the state of Star Wars and everything, could use as much help and as much support as we can get. I'm late. Hello. Hello, Mr. Bantham. Good to see you. There's the Sparrow Files playlist, if you want to go and check that out. We obviously reacted to the first episode of the Sparrow Files 2 weeks ago. We skipped last week because I just didn't want to, we should have probably watched it because Melvin was completely fine with it. I just, I get a little bit, especially when it's people that I like that. I want people to actually go over and support the actual channel and that sort of thing. Now, if you didn't notice, Yoda got completely destroyed on Wednesday's Happy Hump Day. There was a bamboozled video, and I went to grab the bamboozled socks, and Charles was sitting here, and my arm was like this, and I went to grab it, and he freaked out, jumped over there, and he went down. This is the thing that I hate, is like even the lightsaber, like I've lost the tip of it now. So I don't know fucking where that went. But yeah, Yoda's in pieces, unfortunately. Yoda is in pieces. It's only the second Lego thing that has been destroyed by the cats in my lifetime. So poor Yoda. Yes, rest in peace. Yeah, just the tip. That's right, Russell. Yeah. Oh, fucking Charles. Fucking Charles. Yeah, must have thought it was Baby Yoda. Anyway, these things happen. I'm just, to rebuild that, I've almost got to pull it apart now because, when you read through the instructions, it's like piece by piece. So I've almost got to pull the whole thing apart and find anything that fell underneath the thing here, the cabinet. So I'm thinking of just putting that in the box and replacing it with, I got that much other Lego stuff down there. Yeah. Hey, Grizzy's in the chat. Says, thanks, Rhino. I'm halfway through my ban. Can reapply at the end of January. See, I still think that that's ridiculous. I still think that that's stupid. What? Because people were butthurt. People were butthurt because you betrayed them exactly the way that they are. Seal fucking clapping seals. They're sitting there liking stuff, blindly liking stuff, fake tears and shit like that, and you're pointing this stuff out, and they get butthurt to the point where they're actually like, what are they, like, flagging your videos and shit? That's bullshit. You're well within your right to fucking clip this stuff out and do and say what you want to say about it. It's kind of like EFAP, right? When EFAP sit down and they break down a whole video. What, are they not allowed to do that? They've got to sit, they're not allowed to watch it on camera. That's the difference, right? And they're not allowed to give their opinions about it on camera, especially if it's like going against the way the person feels. It's absolutely fucking bullshit. Well, look, hopefully, you get remonetized again at the end of January because I think you deserve it. You deserve to have that channel monetized. You've done really well. You got a great shout out from Gary and those guys over there, which gave you a good amount of subs, gave you a great amount of views. You've got a video on there that's over 100,000 views. How many likes does that video have actually? I just want to check this really quickly. 108,000 views. Yeah, it's not ratioed. You've got 3,500 likes to 46 dislikes. People like your content. People like what you're actually saying and doing with these fucking shills out there. Showing them for what they really are. So yeah. I just wanted to throw my support behind you. And like I said earlier, I may have missed the fact that this actually happened, and I'm sorry that I did, because it happened a month ago or something? Maybe even a little bit longer. I can't remember exactly what you said. I DM'd Grizzy and I'm like, fuck, dude, I didn't even realize. And he wrote back and told me a little bit of the situation. And again, there's nothing really that I can do. There's nothing really that anyone can do. Grizzy's got to fight this fight, right? With YouTube and basically get his monetization back. And he's doing everything he can, as you can see. But, you know, the one thing that we can do is throw our support behind him. That is the one thing we can do. Get him some more subscribers, get the channel moving. And hopefully when YouTube have a look at it again at the end of January, if that's how it works, I don't exactly know how it works, but if that's what happens, they can see, oh, look, this guy's, you know, he's putting out videos consistently. He's got, you know, a lot of support behind him. The like to dislike ratio, they might not look at any of that, but if they do look at it, we can see that he's doing well and that people are actually there supporting him. So hopefully. But anyway, bit of housekeeping shit there. Let's get into the actual show here, guys. Some of the things that are in the thumbnail, some of the things that are on the list. Yeah, you just watched it? Yeah, he's a fucking dog. He is a fucking dog. It's all right. It's all right. We'll, like I said, we'll get rid of Yoda and we'll replace it with something new. We'll replace it with something new. I don't really want to put this over there because that's something that can just roll off the table. Cheers, or cheers to you, Grizzy. Cheers to you. All right, let's watch. Yeah, this is the thing. I don't really know how to react to this trailer. Again, this is more so probably for the Americans out there, and you're probably seeing a lot more in this trailer than I am. But I saw this and I thought, why not watch it? We'll just check it out. So there's a new movie coming. April 26th. Called Civil War. Let's just watch the trailer really quickly. We need Greg's input into what? This trailer?
19 states have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
Are you guys aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America?
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Citizens of America.
I don't know what the like is. That means that there's only 2 states in the real part of America now, or something. I don't know. There's a lot here that I'm not going to actually get or understand. Yeah.
Citizens of America.
The so-called Western forces of Texas and California.
Now, I think that's been the biggest thing of contention that I've seen from people reacting and talking about this trailer is exactly this. There is zero chance of California and Texas teaming up enough. Yeah, I think so too, based on how I see it. California and Texas. Yeah, right. Anyway, that's probably the biggest thing that people have been talking about.
Have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens?
We're moving to D.C. today.
We need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death. What?
Every time I survived the war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home.
See, this is like, for me, this is like an interesting concept to have as a movie. But I don't know what the underlying things are with this movie. I mean, this is a Hollywood movie, isn't it? So, like, is it going to have a lot of bullshit in there? You know, I heard Gary talking about it and saying they're going to have Antifa or and like all of this. Is that going to be a part of what actually goes on? You know, obviously with the way things are right now in the real world, there's a lot of conflict there, a lot of disagreement there. You know, right now we're probably in like almost a verbal civil war, you could say. You know, even here, it leaks over into Australia. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of shit that's going on in the world right now. So it's just, how are they going to portray this? Yeah, we're sort of like in a cold civil war right now. That's a good way of putting it. And it's kind of, to think about it, it's kind of a little bit bleak, you know. And I like war movies. I like the idea of you know, seeing what could happen, you know, even though it is just, you know, a Hollywood movie. You know, seeing something like you know, Olympus Has Fallen, that sort of thing. It's like, you don't ever want the White House to get overrun or anything like that, but it's a cool concept to see what, you know, what could happen, you know. I'm not, for want of a better way of saying it, being a cool concept. Like, you like, you know what I mean? It's just a movie. I don't ever want to see something like that happen. A lot of people are talking about January 6th and how this is like some sort of thing using that. This is where, like, it probably would be good to get Greg in here to talk about this. Let's watch a bit more here.
Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay?
Okay. What kind of American are you?
You don't know?
The Western forces will reach the White House on July 4th.
Oh my God.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
Move, move, move!
You're gonna hang back.
I'm not hanging back.
This might echo because I'm sharing my screen, but...
Hello, what have we here? What have we here?
Hello, Greg.
It did echo.
Yeah, it's always when you're sharing your screen and you play a clip, it echoes. I don't know why. It's pretty silly because I got my headphones in. It shouldn't echo.
Well, it's because you're going through system audio, and if you don't have some software to divert or split the system audio into separate tracks or different audio devices, then that'll happen, and you should be sharing a browser tab with audio rather than a screen.
Yeah, okay. How you doing?
I'm okay.
That's good.
This is this is a really stupid premise for a movie.
Well, you know better than I do. Like I saw this trailer before I played it here, and it's kind of like I said. Like I like war movies. I like the idea behind like seeing some sort of conflict like this. But again, it's kind of like the whole thing that I don't know who they're going to make out to be, like good guys, bad guys, all of that sort of shit. And this could just be, especially like coming up in an election year. This is going to be released in an election year.
Well, of course, because it's topical. But like, if you want to do an actual civil war in the United States kind of premise for a movie, you got to throw out this idiotic notion of states.
Yeah,
and not that states are idiotic in and of themselves. I believe in republicanism. That's the concept of states unified to form a unity government that's the United States, not Republicans as in Republican versus Democrat. But the idea that a civil war would go like along state borders is just fucking stupid. There's no state in the country where that would work. Like, you take like Texas, okay? Like Austin would go one way, Dallas would probably go similar, and then the rest of the state would be different. So if you have a civil war that's actually taking place in the United States, it would be urban versus rural. It'd be urban versus suburb. It would be very mixed, very chaotic.
It wouldn't just be state versus state sort of thing. There'd be within those states, there'd be conflict.
Right, because exactly. And you know, then of course it would do, any sort of civil war would completely annihilate all forms of commerce. Because imagine, like, okay, so California becomes a separate state somehow in this fantastical scenario. Okay, you just lost what, 70% of the products that gets imported into the United States? I don't know what the percentage is, but like everything that comes from China arrives in California for the most part. So like this idea, this premise is just dumb on the surface. If you're going to and this would be way more topical and much more entertaining, like you're going to do a civil war, you do one where the government tries to lock people down again.
Yeah, right.
That would be an interesting movie where like an actual insurrection occurs where the people are just like, no, we aren't going to be locked down again. We refuse. And then you have all these police departments that some of them would be like, no, we're going to protect ourselves and our pension and our government jobs. And we're going to do whatever we're told. We'll just say we're just following orders, right?
It's like the people versus the government sort of thing.
That would be substantial. But see, the thing is like, if you take the lockdowns specifically, there were a lot of people that wanted to throw people like you into concentration camps, Rhino.
Yeah, I know.
So it wasn't just the government. There were huge, disappointingly huge pockets of the populace in every country that literally wanted to throw people like you in jail forever.
Yeah.
And detain you and make you non-citizens. Like that would be an interesting movie, but of course they're not going to touch that. This is I said it in the chat. This is a retarded version of the Red Dawn remake. It's interesting premise, but it's just going to be shit. I mean, Kirsten Dunst hasn't done anything remotely good since well, before Spider-Man. Because all she did in Spider-Man was scream. She was playing Kim Basinger in Batman '89, but in a Spider-Man movie.
Let's just finish off the trailer. There's like 30 seconds left.
You invited me on. This is what you get.
No, 100%. Like, this is why I wanted you on, because again, for me, it's just a movie to me. Like, there's no, like, to me, it's interesting that they're coming out with this movie in an election year, and such a contentious election year as well. And like, I don't know what the premise behind this movie actually is. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean,
really
just for the start, you take California and Texas and make them allies somehow. Like, there's just not a world where that happens.
Didn't Tim Pool produce this film? Did he?
Well, that would make it even dumber. So probably.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go, 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 go! God bless America.
You know, I truly believe that if there was to be a American Civil War now in this day and age, like, I mean, it's pretty evident, but it would obviously affect the entire world. I think it would put most allied countries into a civil war as well.
It would destroy the entire economy. Like this fantasy of, like, you know, states seceding or a civil war breaking out. Like, that's the most dystopian possibility that's on the radar. Like, that's not something you really, really want to wish for.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you are talking about just mass anarchy, rape gangs, like all the worst of humanity. The most violent will survive. The entire bond market, stock market, and everything, it's all integrated and tied together. You can't, like, separate California out. You can't separate Texas out. You can't just take a state and take them out, because, like, okay, then the United States debt is up on the other states, and then California gets to take their enormous economy out of the equation and not pay tax. Like, it doesn't work. Not to mention the fact that the federal government owns a shit ton of land in every state.
Yeah.
It just, like, it's a goofball, idiotic fantasy. I mean, if it comes to reality, and it does, like there is a route where that actually happens, but it's not going to be good for anybody involved.
No,
it is going to be horrific for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody that comes out and goes like, yeah, this is great. And I know, like, people are fans of Nick Offerman because of Ron Swanson, but I remind you that he played a butthole surfer in the Last of Us TV show.
I never watched it.
Nick Offerman fucks men's assholes.
Yeah, gross. Well, look,
he's dead to me.
Man,
he's just an actor.
In the real world, do you feel like, I don't want to get political, but do you feel like, you know, we could hit civil war?
Yeah.
Hit a civil war?
Yeah, I do. But, like, on a scale like that, where it's going to be like military, like, because you got to remember, like
a war zone.
You'd have to have the military. Like, I believe that the police would follow orders. I don't believe that a lot of the military would. I think a lot of the military would just walk and go AWOL. They're like, I'm not going to fly my plane and, like, bomb U.S.
America.
cities. Like, I'm not.
Yeah. But see, like, man, I would think, like, a lot of, like you're sort of saying, a lot of the military wouldn't follow. Especially, like,
I think I want to believe that the military wouldn't follow orders. I know for a fact that the worthless police departments of the world would, because they absolutely did during COVID.
Yeah, very true.
The only thing they cared about was, it wasn't liberty, it wasn't justice, it wasn't freedom, it wasn't fairness, righteousness, or anything. They cared about their paycheck and their goddamn pension.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just, like, it's funny that like, we get a trailer for a movie like this coming out now. You know, I truly believe that Donald Trump.
This is a shitty made-for-TV movie that like got greenlit because Hollywood's bankrupt. I mean, intellectually bankrupt. Like, will people go see this? Because there'll be a lot of people on both sides. They'll be like, the right wingers. They'll be like, oh, I want to see the White House blow up like it did in Independence Day. That'll be ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people on the right that have this fantasy that a civil war would be just the best thing ever, and we just win. Maybe, but at tremendous cost. Maybe the world does.
What do you think that's more likely right now? Do you think it's more likely to hit a civil war, or do you think it's more likely to actually go into like World War III, where America's sort of united in going into war with a lot of these other countries that are currently at war?
I don't know. It depends on the country and what goes on. Like, I think there are some countries that I mean, like civil wars are constant in the world. There's always countries that have internal violent battles going on for power. Like, that's always the case. So like, that's nothing new. Like, but like, would it happen to a large scale country? Only if the West continues to import garbage from Syria and the garbage strip.
And China. I don't know. I'm very blind to a lot of that stuff. Because I care, but I just don't care enough to, like, I've been paying more attention since COVID. Let's put it that way.
COVID was
I think it's because of people like me who weren't paying attention before all the COVID stuff and didn't really care and didn't really bother to care. That's why COVID happened the way it happened.
COVID definitely black-pilled me on humanity. I have no faith in the human race as it stands right now. And ultimately, would the world, in my opinion, would the world probably come out better through violent, horrific, dystopian civil war? Yes, but that's easy to say when you don't have to witness your family getting murdered.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck.
I wonder what a civil war would look like here in Australia. Freaking people running around with boomerangs.
It would be your police force just slaughtering everybody.
Yeah.
Because they're the only ones that are allowed to defend themselves.
Yeah. God, I'd hate that. I'd hate that. Imagine if in this movie they drop a nuke. America drops a nuke on America.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like, there's that whole Second Amendment argument. It'd be like, like that the idea that the citizens should be armed to prevent the tyranny of the government is like, well, the government has F-14s or F-15s. I mean, and that's kind of like what they're going for in this movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, what good is your AR-15 against the military? And it's like, well, the thing is like, in order to occupy and control a populace, like you can't, like, I mean, you can just completely murder everybody. I guess that's an option. But if you actually just want to control them, like you're going to have to do a lot of neighborhood by neighborhood urban combat. And, that typically doesn't go great.
Yeah.
For the occupying force. It's tough work.
Civil war in Australia would be every state versus Victoria. That's honestly probably true. Every state versus Canberra and Victoria.
I think, in North America, it should be like the United States should just invade Canada and destroy it.
God. But, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I just find it funny that they're making a movie like this. They're bringing it out like next year, an election year, And I also find it funny too that like there's a lot of people out there that talk about like you remember when Joker was coming out in theaters, and there was a lot of lefty fucking retards out there that were saying, "Oh, you release this movie, there's going to be anarchy in the fucking theaters, you know, terrorist threats, all of this kind of thing." And then they're releasing a movie like this in an election year where Trump very well could end up being your president again.
That's the manipulative angle of it as well. Is that this idea that like if my guy wins, then democracy is preserved, but if my guy doesn't win, then democracy is destroyed. To be like, where's the logic in that?
Yeah.
Like, so you're saying if the other guy wins the majority of the vote, that's somehow democracy failing.
Yeah, democracy no longer exists.
Be like, well, that's really convenient.
Yeah.
Like so, oh God, because what that opens the door for is then, you know, following that line of logic, then anything goes, right? Because if democracy is at stake, then any level of manipulation, cheating, lying, or whatever is justified, right? Because for democracy.
Yeah. God. The world we live in.
Senate.
Well, that is that. I don't know.
You couldn't pay me to go watch that movie. Like, no, thank you.
No. I don't know whether or not it's going to be any good. I don't know what the premise is and what the like two sides are. You know. The thing is too, if a civil war was to hit in the real world right now, and it was to be on that sort of scale, man, the majority of fucking probably not the majority, sorry, I won't say that, but there'd be a lot of Americans that they'd be just sitting in a corner in the fetal position, not knowing what the fuck to do.
Well, I know what to do. But
100%. I'm not saying you're one of those people. I'm just saying, like, all those people that get offended over stupid shit, you know, a lot of the LGBTQ wouldn't know what the fuck to do. The real world has finally slapped them in the face, and none of anything that they've been complaining about matters anymore.
Well, the last people that probably have to worry about being, you know, raped in a dystopian civil war are trannies.
Yeah, probably them. Well, there you have it. Civil War, the movie. It's going to be interesting to see how it does. It's going to be interesting to see how people receive it.
It's going to bomb.
Like, I think so.
Like better movies, disaster movies with better premises have not done great. Like you brought up like Olympus Has Fallen. And like, I didn't hate that movie, but it wasn't like, I wouldn't consider it good. It's basically like, this is retarded Red Dawn. That's what it is.
I don't think I've seen Red Dawn. Is Red Dawn any good?
Okay, so there's two Red Dawns. The original Red Dawn was with Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey of Dirty Dancing fame. And that was in the 80s.
84.
And that was the Russians were, snuck invaded the West Coast, and it was these local teens had to rebel. The Wolverines. Then a remake was made, and I think it got buried, and then it got put out because Chris Hemsworth was in it, and Chris Hemsworth became popular thanks to Marvel.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, it's got him in it, so we're going to release it. And it was kind of terrible. And that was one where somehow the Koreans invaded.
So what, the first one's better than the remake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, I've never seen it. There you go.
I mean, there's aspects of both movies where there's characters that are like the kid characters that I'm just like, I hope the Russians get that bastard. He's annoying. But then it's really the case in the remake. I was just like, I don't think there's any of them that I want to survive. Like, I was rooting for the goddamn Koreans.
I'll have to
There's
watch
only
that
one. You don't
movie.
count the other one.
Yeah, that's right.
I vaguely remember the remake of it. It was so bad. Like the 80s one was a product of its time.
Yeah.
More than anything. Like I wouldn't say Red Dawn, the original, holds up well today. But because I mean, like those movies have to be of a specific time because technology has surpassed a lot of the limitations that held the characters back in those movies. So like you take an 80s movie, a 70s movie, 60s, 50s, however far back you want to go, and like you throw like cell phones in the mix, like half your movie's plots break because it's like, well, why don't you just call the guy? Use your phone, dumbass.
Yeah,
or use the internet, dumbass. Like there's so many aspects of modern technology that breaks the barriers that are and the obstacles that are in front of characters in these older movies that they just don't work. And that's why, like I've said for a long time, like Indiana Jones doesn't work in the modern era, or it doesn't really work past World War II. Like a character like Indiana Jones needs to stay in that time period, trying to modernize it. I mean, that's why the Mummy went back in time too. Like the Mummy doesn't take place in modern America, modern England, or modern Egypt. It takes place in the past as well.
Yeah, it's almost
because
it's a period piece sort of thing.
Right, because like imagine, okay, Raiders of the Lost Ark, it'd be like, hey, we need to do this whole dig site, and we need to find this thing and reflect the light in such a way. It's like, no, we'll just use ground penetrating radar, thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the entire premise is broke.
Yeah,
like we'll just use modern technology. Oh, like we're worried about booby traps. I'll send the drone. Like see.
No, you're right. They're like
have
movies.
To set those movies in the past.
Yeah. Well, speaking of movies from the past brought into modern times, there was also the Axel F trailer, the Beverly Hills Cop.
Before we watch that one, I just want to remind. I see a lot of people that are excited about this movie. I'm like, did you guys watch Coming to America 2?
Yeah, I didn't watch.
What has Eddie done in 20 years that's been even bordering passable?
Yeah.
Nothing. He's been a dud since Nutty Professor in what, 96?
Yeah. But this is the other thing too that I'm just over. I'm just sick of is the remakes or the continuations of the stories, right? Oh, they're older actors now. Like
it's not like 3 was great either.
Push it. I didn't mind 3. I didn't think it was great, but I didn't mind it.
But these movies need to be set in a particular time period, and bringing them into the modern world and with modern sensibilities just won't. Like, I know people are just like, bring 80s movies and bring them into no, they won't, because like one thing that's not going to be in Beverly Hills Cop 4 is some gratuitous random titties.
Yeah.
And these movies need gratuitous random titties, damn it. Bring back gratuitous random titties.
Yeah. Need to go to that strip bar. All right, let's take a look. I haven't seen this trailer yet.
Me either.
I almost admire you. Still on these streets, running and cutting. I'm just amazed. It doesn't get to you.
So hard that your hat can't fit you.
Watch your ass out there, okay? I'm gonna be fine. They love me in Beverly Hills. Detective Foley, you ever read your own files? Shootouts, start of the piece, a lot. Please tell me you didn't get arrested again. Twice, but I broke out.
I'm going back to
We put our lives on the line every day. And for what? It comes with the job if you're doing it right.
Yeah, babe!
So
How many people have you pissed off so far?
I haven't pissed off anybody.
Yeah,
50-50.
50.
Is it that high?
So far.
Wow.
Oh God, it's made for TV. There you go. Coming to America 2 / Beverly Hills Cop 4 with Eddie that looks too old and where his face looks like it's swelled.
Is that actually him?
Yeah, I think it is, Belky.
Well, you know,
What else is he doing? I mean, you might as well bring it in. And like, there was not even a laugh line in that entire fucking thing.
No, I know. I know.
It's a comedy movie, and there's not even like, I wasn't even inspired to mildly chuckle.
Yeah, no, I know. Even this conversation with Rosewood and that, like, nothing. Just nothing. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about
That's a huge thumbs down. Not that I would ever subscribe to Netflix anyway, but
that's
no thanks.
So what? This is a movie for Netflix. This is a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
Wow. You would think a movie like this they'd try and release in theaters.
Well, I mean, yeah. If Netflix is willing to throw money, like a monster pile of money at dumb shit like this, then they'll take the money.
That's a nothing burger.
And what's great is that they don't really have to like publicize the actual results, right? So like he can have a flop, but it doesn't get reported as a flop because there's no box office receipts to indicate that it's a flop.
Yeah.
So Netflix can just say, but like, hey, it's the #1 comedy on Netflix, and it's like, well, okay, for that day.
Doesn't have that 80s vibe to it, no. And that's the thing too. Like it's all modernized. You know, you see him when he's driving through Beverly Hills, and there's some influencer mum getting photos taken by a kid or something like that. You know, just on the strip there or whatever. That was a nothing burger of a trailer for me. God.
Yeah, it was like
what?
It's a comedy movie, and like there's no laughs in the fucking trailer.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, Beverly Hills Cop is action, but like it's Eddie Murphy. It's a comedy. Like you gotta have like Eddie Murphy is not a guy you go see or you're out of your way to watch play a straight character, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the other thing too that I did hear is that like he's got a daughter that he's sort of estranged from apparently. No, I didn't see the daughter in the trailer at all. I don't know whether or
I
not
think it would have been funny, and just like a funny thing in the trailer would have been like Axel like flies back from Detroit to Beverly Hills Cop, and on the way to his hotel he picks up a tranny.
Yeah. But see, they'd never do something like that, man.
That would be funny because like if you're familiar with Eddie Murphy, like if you got the joke, it would be funny.
Or he goes into a strip bar and it's a tranny that's stripping.
Right.
And he like freaks out or something. I don't know.
That would be funny because I mean it'd be kind of meta, kind of like a wink at the camera a little bit, but like would that make me go see the movie? Fuck no. I mean, there's just that style of cop comedy just has been broken, and they haven't been able to fix it for a long time.
Yeah,
and it's not just Eddie Murphy, and it's not just Holly.
It's all comedies, actually.
The buddy cop movie's been dead for a long time.
Yeah, but it's all comedies. Comedies are actually dead, and they've been dead for a long time.
Which is really insane to me because like it's the cheapest movie other than like horror movies. Like comedies are typically pretty cheap to make.
Yeah.
Like you don't have like these monster green screen, high production value sets that you got to build and everything. You just shoot on location. Like it's really it shouldn't be that hard. But apparently it's hard to do anything funny now because like you can't do anything funny because it's offensive.
Oh, that's a good point. I'm worried about Lethal Weapon 5.
Yeah.
This is the thing, though, is that everything that's coming out now is literally just a remake or a continuation of something that was old and more beloved. And they're going to not necessarily do what they did sort of like with Star Wars, where they sort of destroyed stuff from the originals and everything like that. But it's just going to put a damper on the original stuff in regards to the fact that this is nowhere near as good as this one, or nowhere near as, you know, funny as this one. The one that we
I'm just like, it's like, when are they going to have oh fuck, I just dropped blank on the name of the movie now. The movie that made Fubar a popular thing. Help me out, chat. Yeah, with Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell. Is a buddy cop movie. They're both cops, but like one was a good cop, goody two shoes cop, and the other one was like a badass cop. Tango and Cash. Tango and
Cash. Yeah.
Tango and Cash 2.
Oh God. Could you imagine? Well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they did.
It surprises me that they haven't. You know, especially like Sylvester Stallone seems to be very up for doing sequels.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he shied away from him in his career. Like he's probably got more sequel titles than any other actor in Hollywood. Like when you factor like just Rocky and Rambo.
Mm.
And then Rocky, Rambo, Expendables, like each one of them are on their fourth plus.
And make a Tracy and Chrissy instead of Tango and Cash.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What? No. Then you have to cast. You have to cast Leslie Jones and like Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
Like half the Ghostbusters team.
Put a ticket in and make a name gay.
God, I hate that clip.
Why? It's so relevant.
It's not though. Watch the episode.
All right. Let's move on to some Star Wars stuff. Do you want to hang around, Greg, or did you want to bail out?
Are you kicking me out, or like, you know?
Not kicking you out at all.
All right, I'll stay.
You're more than welcome.
I reserve the right to bail, though.
That's fine.
Trying crack, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Before we do, I need to just get a refill, guys. So I'm going to play Moz's fart for you.
Oh, Mozza, read that.
Mozza, don't let the American bitch.
Did you just fart?
Yes, I did. Tell you what to do.
I think it's bedtime, Mozza.
Question mark.
I think it's bedtime for Mozza.
You pushed so far.
That's the type of video we watch on fucking Happy Hump Day.
I can't pee. Oh my God.
This is why meetups are gay.
It was fucking hilarious. That was the best part of that fucking whole thing. All right, let's get into some Star Wars shit,
Rest
guys.
my case. Oh, goody, some Star Wars.
Yep.
This just in, Star Wars still sucks.
Yep. Exactly. All right. So, I don't know if you guys remember, but what was it? A fair few months ago, maybe about a year ago, maybe even a little bit longer. I can't remember exactly. Daisy Ridley was being interviewed, and she was being asked, about the whole concept of her being a Palpatine and how like it changed and it swapped and changed and it was going back and forward and all of this kind of shit. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've now got Adam Driver, who has done an interview, and it's nothing that we didn't already know. If you've sat there and you've watched the movies, you've sat there and watched the sequels, you know that whatever outline or plan that like JJ had from when he did The Force Awakens got completely fucking subverted and fucked over by Rian Johnson, and then got completely fucked over by JJ again with The Rise of Skywalker. But it's always nice to be vindicated by some of these actors that come out and just say how it is and say how it went. And the newest person to do that is, of course, Adam Driver. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. So Star Wars actor Adam Driver says that Kylo Ren was originally intended to be more and more evil as the sequel trilogy went on. But that arc shifted towards redemption as focus was placed on Ben Solo's connection to Rey.
There you go. This is what shippers do.
This and the
to media.
It's so funny how
This is what
like,
they
the
do to
shippers
media.
and everything are like they got pissed off that, you know, JJ with The Rise of Skywalker took it in a different direction than the way Rian Johnson put it and everything like this. But they tried to give them what they wanted. They tried to give them what they wanted because they were too busy shipping fucking Raylo. I mean, they went so crazy to the point where they wanted Adam Driver to divorce his wife so that he could fucking be in a real world relationship with Daisy Ridley. That's crazy shit. No Star Wars fan ever, real Star Wars fan ever went to those extremes where they wanted Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher to be a real world couple. This is acting. It's not a real world. Now, a lot of people say, then why do you get so pissed off and upset about it? Because within the laws and the things, the show that you're watching, the movie that you're watching is a real world within itself, right? It's established that these things are put into place. So anyway, let's just watch this this little clip here from the interview that came out, and we'll sort of break it down and talk about it because it's a minute and a half long. So let's listen to this.
At least you're playing Vader 2.0. Like, at least did you know that as conceptually?
I did. Yeah. And I had an overall arc that in mind that he wanted to do, which, you know, then changed. But his idea was that almost the opposite journey of Vader, where Vader starts the most confident, the most, you know, committed to the dark side. And by, you know, the last movie, he's the most vulnerable and weak. And he wanted to start at the opposite, where this character was the most confused and vulnerable, and by the end of the three movies would be most committed to the dark side. So,
now, I'm going to sort of disagree with him there. Because Vader, especially in, let's say, Revenge of the Sith, like Anakin, he was very confused and very like, you know, uncertain and unsure of who to trust and what to do. And then he turned to the dark side, and the only reason why he got redeemed was because of his son, because of Luke, right? Whereas it seems like very much the same sort of thing with Kylo Ren, based on the fact that, you know, Kylo was Ben Solo. Not that we ever saw him really at the beginning as Ben Solo, but, you know, he was training under Luke in Luke's academy and all of that sort of thing. And then he turns to the dark side because, of course, of his bad dream.
But I think, like, if you give him the maximum benefit of the doubt here, Adam Driver's referring to Anakin or Vader in the OT.
In the
his
OT.
progression from you know, A New Hope through Return of the Jedi, and not his original thing as, because I mean, specifically they're saying, you know, it's Vader 2.0, not Anakin 2.0.
Yeah.
So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Mm-hmm.
And that he's referring to Vader. And, you know, Vader was super confident. Like, this will be a day long remembered. It'll be, you know, it'll see the end of Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know, see the end of the rebellion, that kind of thing. And, you know, supremely confident. And, you know, at the end of the trilogy, he had doubt. So I get that. And then what you're bringing up is stuff like, I think he's talking about like the original idea as conceived when The Force Awakens was created, not what Rian Johnson then turned his character into with the second movie.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think he's necessarily like wrong here if he's like he's really just talking about OT Vader and then the plans for his character before Rian Johnson screwed everything up with his subvert expectations bullshit.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I tried to keep that arc in mind, regardless if that wound up not being the journey anyway, because it changed, obviously, as we were shooting.
Yeah, right.
Right. But I was still kind of focused on that.
When did it change?
Well, with Ryan, he took it into a different direction.
There you go.
Kind of.
Yep. Straight off the bat, throws Ryan under the bus. Ryan took it in a different direction. Let's just finish and hear what he finished that thought.
Still, it kind of still tracked with the character. Then the last one, it changed into being, about them and the dyad and things like that.
And then again, so you
and kind of evolving into Ben Solo. That was never part of it.
That wasn't either.
No. Because Ben Solo, he was Ben Solo from the beginning, but it wasn't. It was never a version where we actually see Ben Solo when I first signed up for it.
So there you have it. Thank you, shippers. Thank you, fake Star Wars fans. For look, don't get me wrong.
It still would have been garbage had they followed the original vision anyway.
Correct. So starting off with The Force Awakens, a lot of people were blinded by their love of Star Wars that, and I've admitted that I'm one of those people that I thought The Force Awakens was okay and I was willing to see where it was going to go. And then, of course, with the way they took it, it definitely put a damper on everything to do with The Force Awakens and any hope that they had that they could possibly tell a good story. But then in isolation, if you look at The Force Awakens just in isolation, it's still pretty fucking shit.
It is.
Right?
I think what deceived everybody about The Force Awakens, I won't say everybody, but a lot of us, and I'll put myself in that group as well, was the ending of The Force Awakens where we're handing off. It was the excitement of like, oh, the next movie is going to be about Luke. And I think if you go back in time and you look at all the hype and the lead up going from The Force Awakens into The Last Jedi, it was all about what's Luke. What's going to happen with Luke?
What's he going to be like?
That was the subject of everybody's, a little bit of Rey's lineage, but like in relation to Luke. And that teaser at the end with Luke being reintroduced into the story, like I think dulled the bitter taste of Han dying so stupidly in a lot of people's minds.
And it blinded people.
And it was just the anticipation of what's next.
But it also blinded people of like that stupid concept with the map and stuff.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. It was that last scene.
They had faith. People had this idea, this notion that like, okay, well, there's a plan for 3 movies. We know that. So like, we're going to get a lot of answers in the next movie.
Yeah.
A lot was put on The Last Jedi, maybe unfairly. But a lot was put on The Last Jedi to redeem the holes that The Force Awakens created. But I think people didn't realize at the time that like JJ's modus operandi is to not fill those holes ever. Just look at Star Trek.
But Ryan didn't fill any of the holes either. He basically, by the time he ended the story. He basically ended the story. There was nowhere to move forward from after The Last Jedi. Luke
and any threads that were left, he just cut. He's just like, well, fuck that.
Yeah,
and we're just gonna ignore it. But whether it's Snoke or like just anything, just any of that stuff is just like, nope. We're just not even going to do that.
This is 2 actors now, 2 of basically the main leads from the sequel trilogy that have now come out and basically said, yeah, whatever plan they had in place was completely changed by Rian Johnson, mind you, and then had to be picked back up by JJ. But the last movie was definitely heavily influenced by the Twitter retards.
Oh, yes. But it was influenced on all sides. Like some of the stuff that they did with Luke in that movie was a response to people being mad about what they did to Luke and TLJ. Like some of it swung the other way. And basically then they tried to make this movie try and make everybody happy, and it really didn't make many people happy other than Star Wars Theory. But like if you look at the people that love The Last Jedi, that still like, you know, are out there standing for it to this day, they hate The Rise of Skywalker more than TLJ haters hate TLJ.
Yeah. And it's
funny, and it's kind of funny. But what you're seeing here, and I think you're going to continue to see it, is that there's this, the actors are kind of lining themselves up to be in the next movie. And one of the things they're doing to do that is be like, hey guys, like what happened in the other 3 movies, like that wasn't me. That was JJ and fucking Ryan. Like, leave me out of it. I had nothing to do with it. I'm just like, I just was caught up in the middle of it. But the next one's going to be great, though. Like, I think they're trying to rewrite some of their own legacy with those movies and position themselves to be in the Rey movie that's coming up.
We've got a question here. So what was the original plan for who Rey was? Why was she such a Mary Sue? Her being a Palpatine's, well, it's granddaughter, not Palpatine's daughter wasn't originally planned. Well, who knows? Nobody actually really knows.
I suspect it was going to be in some way related to Luke or Obi-Wan.
I think so too. If you look at the way Daisy Ridley talked about it in that interview that she did, she was like, JJ was like, oh, you know, maybe Obi-Wan's daughter, maybe Luke's daughter. There was a lot of shit that she said there.
Yeah, they're setting up Han to be Uncle Han, you know.
Yeah. So there was a lot, and even in The Force Awakens, when, you know, she sees the green for the first time and she says that she's never seen so much green. She didn't even know there was so much green in the galaxy or whatever. And Han looks over at her and gives her that look.
That was actually a good moment in that movie. I'll be honest, like there are good moments in these movies, very small ones, and like that was well played by Han and Daisy there. Like you felt a connection, like he felt sorry for her and like responsible. Like you just you got that vibe, which of course, which is what they were going for, which opened up the whole, like, well, who is she? Kind of that whole
line of questioning came from that
questioning that became the, you know, one of the biggest lead-ins into the next movie.
Correct. And why was she such a Mary Sue? Well, I think that's pretty evident in itself, isn't it? Like, I know people like to say she's not a Mary Sue. There's a lot of people out there that still think that she was a well-written character and all of that sort of thing. There are so many elements to what she does that makes her a Mary Sue. You know, beating Kylo Ren, that was another thing that, like, a lot of people were blinded to when The Force Awakens came out, was her beating Kylo in the snow there. You know, all because she closed her eyes and concentrated. And then they basically, to try and subvert the whole idea of her being a Mary Sue, in the novels, they had to say that she downloaded his training, Kylo's training, when he did that force torture thing on her.
Yeah, because I mean, the force is a magic thing that is just magic plot bullshit.
That's them trying to justify it. So if they didn't think that the fans were right in saying that she's a Mary Sue, then why put that in the novelization? To say that this is how she is as powerful as she is. Because
originally they were going to say that it was her lineage. It was her lineage that made her powerful, is what they were originally going for.
Yeah, like, but then when they made her,
movie, but then Johnson wrecked that with like, she's a nobody.
You're a nobody.
And then, like, that wrecked it so thoroughly that they had to wreck that wrecking by saying, like, oh no, she's not a nobody, she's a Palpatine. I mean, that's
I thought they were going to make Rey and Kylo siblings, ripping off Jason and Jaina Solo. A lot of people, I think, thought that that's where they were going with it.
That'd be like I could see the logic in that, except for, like, how do you write Leia not realizing she had a daughter? Like she was like pregnant coma and like birthed the child and like nobody told her?
Yeah.
Like, how does a woman not know she gave birth to a kid? I mean, I guess maybe like, oh, they told her it was stillborn and she really wasn't stillborn. I guess you could go that route, but then that's starting to sound like a retarded soap opera.
Told her that she only had one child and they quickly removed the second one from the room.
But wouldn't she know? Wouldn't Luke know that there was another soul in there? You know, like,
yeah. The whole thing
never seemed plausible to me. Like that either Han or Leia had some random. Because if it was Han's daughter, then it's like, well, that doesn't explain the lineage.
But baby Rey,
maybe.
Let me just hit this really quickly. Grandmaster Chris for 1 month member chat says, "I want the Rey movie just to watch it flop." Well, that's definitely going to happen.
You know what though? Like if. And this is a big if they can control the budget, like I don't think it'll flop.
Well, if they can control the budget,
it'll flop by people's perceptions. Like, oh, if it doesn't do $2 billion, then it's a flop. But like, could they make a movie for $150 million and have it come out be profitable, even with Rey? I think they could.
Well, you know where they're going to, how they're going to make that movie interesting for people. Grogu will be in it.
Sure.
Mando will be in it. Ahsoka will be in it. Maybe
throw everything at it.
Luke Skinwalker will be in it. And then it'll be Rey. It'll be Rey's movie, but there'll be all these cameos, just like what they've done. They'll jangle the keys in front of your faces. And all the characters that they perceive that, the fans love from all the Disney Plus shows, Boba Fett will be in it. Fennec Shand will be in it. That's how they'll fucking, because, they know that everybody hates Rey. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people fucking hate Rey. The sequel trilogy was not good for them.
See, I don't think that's the thing. Like, I think there's a lot of people in our community that don't like Rey the character. But I think when you're talking about the box office public, like, I don't think I think people don't care about. They're indifferent about Rey. I don't think they hate her. Because honestly, like, if you step back and you look, like, we don't like her because of the Reylos and things like that. But like, just as a character.
I don't like her because of the character, though. Not just because of the Reylos. The Reylos are fucking like an added bonus to why.
But what part of her character do you not like?
I don't like her Mary Soonis.
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't like the fact that she was able to do everything that she was able to do. She hasn't gone through, let's say,
her personality. Like, is she likable?
No.
Why?
It's very dry. There's nothing there, and she's never.
She's
never had those losses. She's never taken like she hasn't gone through the arc. She hasn't gone through the hero's
like
journey,
I agree with all that, but I don't hate Rey. Like, I just don't like her. But I don't hate her. Like, I'm not thinking be like, oh, that Rey. Ugh. Like, I hate Mando. I legitimately, deeply, thoroughly, to my core, despise
Mando.
Din Djarin.
No,
I don't hate Rey. I don't like her though. Like I think her movies, like, I don't like her character, but I don't dislike. Like, I don't hate her, and I don't think the general movie public hates her.
Well, her calling
they're just not interested. They're like meh.
I think there's few people out there that do hate her. Like, using, like, stealing the name Skywalker at the end of the movie. Like, those things.
But in terms of the population that goes to see Star Wars movie, Rhino, you're talking about a sliver of a sliver of a sliver of a sliver.
Yeah.
Like, this community, like, the biggest live stream consists of not even 20,000 people, and like, if all those 20,000 people stop buying Star Wars tickets, that would cost them $200,000 at the box office. Woo!
Yeah. Who do you like? Do you like between Rey and Boba Fett? Who do you hate more?
Oh, Boba Fett.
between Ray and C-3PO. Who do you hate more?
C-3PO.
Oh man.
Not even fucking close.
Wow.
C-3PO is annoying to the core. There's not one redeeming quality that he has, other than he happens to be in a movie with other good characters.
Mm.
But there's not a single moment of C-3PO in any Star Wars movie that's good.
Why didn't Rey's parents
except for when he gets blown up in Empire Strikes Back?
To be honest with you, we don't know that Rey's parents, at least one of Rey's parents, didn't have Force powers. Even a little bit, we don't know that. I mean, we got to take off the assumption that I don't know where. I think it was Palpatine's son that was Rey's father.
The answer is, my answer is because like you put up, like you're asking like which one's better, like C-3PO versus a character that doesn't exist. Well, the character that doesn't exist is better.
C-3PO or Jar Jar?
Jar Jar's better.
You heard it here first.
I'll
guys.
take Jar Jar in episode 1 all day, every day over C-3PO in episode 2. C-3PO in episode 2 is one of the worst characters ever put to screen.
Yeah, I'm so beside myself.
That like his whole Geonosis thing is just trash.
No, I agree. Anyway,
frankly, Daisy Ridley is more likable than Anthony Daniels.
I just it's the funny thing is obviously these things are coming out about the sequels and how like whatever plan they had in place was subverted, changed, whatever the case may be. But I still think that even with all the Disney Plus shows, there's no real plan there. There's no real outline of what they're doing. They're just trying to save face. They're trying to work around trying to make the sequels make sense, right? Especially with a lot of the cloning stuff that they're doing within Mandalorian, within the Bad Batch and stuff like that. And I think it's all going to come crashing down at some point. The next movie that comes out, I don't know whether or not it's going to be Dave Filoni's Mandoverse movie or whether or not it's going to be the Rey movie. From what I keep hearing, the Rey movie's coming first, right? But who knows?
But obviously, like Filoni's going to have an impact on all of it. And like, I just like the funny thing is like the glue that's going to hold all this crap together is going to be Dave Filoni, who doesn't care about continuity from like an episode ago of his own shows.
One episode to the next episode. Yeah, that's right.
Like that's going to be the glue that holds all these things together. Like Star Wars is in great hands, everybody. It's just great. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. I need that clip. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right. Let's move on to the next thing. So, let's see. We'll start with this one first, and then we'll go to that one, and then that one. All right. So, there's some. This is what I was talking about. To me, that like them releasing stuff like this. This is all behind the scenes stuff, right? And especially like them talking about Mandalorian season 4 being a movie and then not being a movie and all of that is just trying to keep Star Wars relevant and keep people talking about Star Wars. That's how I truly feel about that, right? Now, there's a couple of behind the scenes clips that have been released that I just thought we could watch together. I haven't seen them yet.
Okay. Before we do, I'm gonna put that out there, or this thought out there. There's no such thing as behind the scenes anymore. Because none of these things are candid, actual behind the scenes. These are all overproduced, staged baloney.
Yeah.
Just it is as authentic as a late night talk show interview.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like
100% horseshit. They have professional cameras running. They know they're being filmed for a behind the scenes documentary. It's so manufactured astroturf. It's just a joke. Like, you take a look at some of the behind the scenes stuff from like the original trilogy, right?
And that's truly behind the scenes where they're not
It's
even
truly
paying
behind the scenes with some
they're not
random
even paying
guy
attention
filming
to those
stuff.
that's right. They're not
Yeah,
even paying attention
there's
to
no
that camera.
interviews or anything like that, or like you see photographs of like candid shots of like the actors on the set or something like that. Those are actual candid things, because back then that stuff didn't come out. That was just,
Well, it's kind of like last week. Last week, I was showing some of the actors from the Ahsoka series were talking about specific photos that they took and put out on their social media of themselves on the set.
It's so staged.
Right? Yeah, it is. It is. And again, that's another thing where they're doing that to try and keep Star Wars relevant, keep these new fans and these new shippers and all of that sort of thing all happy with, oh, look, did you see the photo? They talked about the photo that they released and that they put out from when they were on the set in their uniforms and all of this kind of shit.
Well, and they're trying to make it like these casts seem like they're really approachable, down to earth, regular folk. It's
and that they really care, and that they really care about what the
all
roles
marketing horseshit. Like, anybody who watches this stuff should just you should be angry at the attempt. Like, you should have nothing but contempt for the gall they have in thinking that you would actually believe that this staged phony baloney astroturf horse shit is anything resembling authentic.
Yeah.
It's a fucking commercial.
All right, let's watch some of these. Okay, so the first one is a new behind-the-scenes clip from The Mandalorian Season 1 has been released about Grogu's puppetry. Exclusive to the Blu-ray, because we're going to talk about that here. They're releasing Blu-rays, 4K, Ultra HD fucking editions of The Mandalorian. Can you believe it? Ultra HD.
HD. Okay.
Why?
I just it's kind of like your version of like the way you guys say like no, like you say
no.
H is like H instead of H.
H. I could say it both ways. Anyway, exclusive to the Blu-ray and 4K disc release of the show. Here we go.
I don't know.
Oh, fuck. Fucking audio.
Oh, remember this character?
Yeah.
I don't know. But what it does, this I've heard rumors of.
We knew from the beginning that it was going to be high risk.
You put that initial fear aside and you say, okay, well, let's really examine this.
This little bogwing is what all the fuss was about.
It's just magic. It's such a leap of faith.
A precious little creature.
It's the first time animatronics have ever been used in film, everybody.
Yeah. No, but I think he's talking about it being such a leap of faith, actually making a Yoda type character. How is the audience going to perceive this? And they accepted it with open arms, especially, and a lot of the people that were on our side. Do you remember Mando Season 1, Greg?
Yeah.
Do you remember the shit? Do you remember the shit that we copped for Mando Season 1 and saying how fucking bullshit this was?
I was one of the first people out of the gate as an out, loud, and proud Grogu hater.
Yes, you were.
I was one of the first ones out there that was just like, no, that thing is a fucking irritating little rodent. He doesn't belong in Star Wars.
But a lot of the bullshit that we copped was due to the fact that a lot of the people believed what the Doomtards think, even still to this day, about the Civil War.
Yeah.
No, and the Civil War and the retcon, right? The Civil War being that Kathleen Kennedy is not even allowed on set. She's got nothing to do with what they're doing, with what John and Dave are doing. And then there was also that element too, where they're going to retcon the sequel trilogy using these shows. And a lot of people ended up believing that until a lot of them actually turned the corner and said, no, this guy, Doomgog, is a bit full of shit, right?
Well, you notice it's the same thing with every single Star Wars thing that comes out, right?
Yeah.
Every single one is like they come up with excuses and justifications for them following or liking the new thing.
Yeah.
And it's all to erase that their hardline corner that they painted themselves in with the whole without respect, we reject. Like,
yep.
What did you reject? You've seen every single thing that Disney's ever made since then. So tell me, what have you rejected thus far?
Until you put a following tweet out there saying, until you get, what was the fucking tweet? You know the one I'm talking about.
One. Yeah.
Yeah, the emotional payoff.
That was the end of season 2.
That was the end of season 2 with Luke Skywalker.
But see, everybody wanted to love Star Wars again.
That's right. It was continuity doesn't matter as long as you get an emotional payoff.
Yep.
Quote unquote from Doomcock.
Yeah.
Continuity.
But there have been people that have been cheerleading Disney Star Wars at every step.
Payoff. What a fucking retard. Anyway, let's continue with this fucking garbage.
John's brief, he had something very specific in mind. He wanted a character that was kind of cute, but not really cute.
You wanted a character that was kind of cute, but not really cute? I think most people, even like Anna, she knows how garbage these stories are. She knows how garbage Disney Star Wars is. I don't think that there's anything that's come out on Disney Plus that she's liked. But when you talk about Grogu and you talk about Baby Yoda, you've seen her. Yeah, Baby Yoda, oh, so cute.
I immediately, like, as soon as I see her go into like I can visually see her about to go into squeal mode, and I mute.
I'm the same.
Sorry, Anna, but like it is ear piercingly.
I love Anna
terrible.
And I've got all the respect in the world for Anna. But even when I'm on stream with her and she starts going on,
ears.
I'm constantly telling her, "Shut the fuck up, Anna! Like, shut the fuck up."
But the thing is like, oh, this is something that they just realized for the Mandalorian that we should put something cute in it. Be like, oh, right, sure. Like, this is the first time that Disney Star Wars has thought, like, we need to put something cute in there. Oh, except for porgs.
Yeah.
Like, this is even that isn't a new concept for fucking Star Wars. The porgs are, what reason do the porgs exist at all? To sell a fucking plushie.
Yeah, and so that Chewie can eat them. Or not eat them. Go to eat them, and then they look at them with their little puffy eyes.
It's to sell a stupid fucking plushie. Like, ooh, this was something innovative that they were doing with Grogu. Like, no, it's just they're going right to their tried and true thing. Like, hey, we're gonna do this. And like, look at it. It's Gizmo.
Yeah.
It's fucking Gizmo.
Well, wait. There's a little bit more to this, I think. Hold on.
We started zeroing in on one image that Chris Osman did.
It is a foundling.
We were going to do mostly in CG, but then we started to really like what the puppet looked like. It was the sculpt that Legacy did.
Everyone believes in it, the actors, the audience, everyone. And so we just have to make sure that when we do need to go digital, the animators were limited to what the puppet can do.
We have to.
That's not true. You know why I know that that's not true? That the animators were limited to what the puppet could do? Because in Mando Season 1, when they're stuck on that ice planet, how does Grogu run away? Do you remember that scene, Greg?
He levitates.
Yeah, it's like, it looks so fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say, like, you know, looking at the blend or the mix of CGI versus puppet work for him, like, is not consistent and cohesive at all.
No.
And like, and when they try to put that limit on there, they make it look stupid. Like when Grogu's running, it looks dumb.
Looks dumb.
I mean, to the point where they had to literally have Luke just casually like pick him up and throw him just so he would keep up with Luke in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason Luke was doing that, was so that they didn't have to try and animate him with his legs booking it to try and keep up with Luke's pace.
Yeah.
Because they realized it looks ridiculous.
But Greg, size matters not.
Yeah. Oh, and always get back up.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Don't try, do.
Yeah. Wow. Luke really learned a lot.
or not, and
can do.
we have to create the limitation so that people don't know where it's a puppet or not. And
I think I can recognize every single time it's a puppet and it's not a puppet.
make that part of the personality of the character. And because it's Star Wars, people like that. They accept it.
Yes, yes.
There's the first one. So that's from season 1, talking about the puppetry.
Well, it's not like I was ever going to buy the Blu-rays anyway, but
No.
like that, not a compelling reason. And like, if you already have Disney Plus, because you're interested in watching the other Star Wars stuff that's coming out, like, why would you go back and like? I know there's people in our community who are like buy physical and everything, but like for again the majority of the public, why would you buy a physical copy of this?
I'm one of
if you
those
already
people
have
that
Disney
says,
Plus.
well, no, but see, this is the thing. I'm one of those people that always says buy physical media. I think physical media is definitely something that you should invest in. But as much as I love Star Wars, there's no way I'm fucking buying this because I don't even care to watch it again. I don't even want to watch it again on Disney Plus or not.
Because of the shows that we did, and then you know the Tuscan Bob spoils spoils the Mandalorian series that I did. Like I'm so like, and even Book of Boba Fett, because I watched that with you behind the scenes. Like I have a pretty solid recollection of those seasons and what happened to them. Like I don't need to watch it again. Like I can remember most of like the garbage. You'd be like, all right, what didn't you like? Because I've been one of those people that's like, no, Mandalorian from the get-go, season 1, episode 1 on was not very good. A lot of people seem to like they're on the bandwagon and be like, oh no, seasons 1 and 2 were good, but 3 was really bad. I'm like, really? Like, all right, let's go back. What was terrible in season 3? Well, those stupid creature episodes. Be like, oh, like Sandjaws in season 2.
Or like the alligator in season 3.
Yeah, or the mud rhino in season 1.
Or the pterodactyl in season 3.
Right, like what people point to in season 3 is garbage. I can be like, oh, like they did in this episode in season 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so there's that one. Let's talk about this one. So, a new behind-the-scenes clip from The Mandalorian Season 2 has been released about the New Republic. Exclusive blah, 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 blah. Let's take a look.
Nice shoes. Matches his belt.
With the New Republic uniforms, we wanted to make sure that we were tapping into the foundation of what these were built on.
And so what you see in the designs are a little bit of the old and new, but it's really kind
of... Wait a minute. This was season 1. If that's the Prison Break episode, that was season 1, right?
Was it?
Yeah, it was like episode 5, season 1. 4 or 5.
Well, maybe this is...
Because Bill Burr is in jail in season 2.
Yeah, that's true.
And they have to bust him out.
That's true.
So they're talking about. Man. So they're saying like this is from Mandalorian season 2, and it's like, well, look, no. I hate the fucking show. I don't have Disney Plus, and I immediately can pick out and be like, no, wrong. That's season 1.
They don't even talk like Star Wars characters. No, that's true. No, that is. You're right. It is from season 1. Maybe they're just talking about the New Republic uniform stuff on the disc of season 2. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's possible. Sure. Like it's on the season 2 disc, but like it's behind the scenes. They're discussing.
Well,
season
the footage,
1 stuff.
The footage that they're showing is from season 1. That's right.
A little bit of the old and new, but it's really kind of, anchoring it in the original trilogy.
And so we used the same fabrics, the same wools that were used in the original trilogy. And we used a lot of the same cut, whereas the Empire had this sort of almost jodhpur cut. We went straighter with it to keep it cleaner and more innocent.
So basically, like, you must like this because we use the same material as they did in the originals.
I mean, when I did see the episode, I'm like, ooh, is that a wool uniform? Just like the original trilogy? I'm impressed. And look, the cut of the New Republic officers is the same as or similar to the cut of the Empire's uniforms. That's what I was looking for.
I
mean, like, forget the continuity of like things like tracking fobs and shit like that, but like what we really need to know is the fabric the fucking same?
Same. Yeah.
But it has a lot of the characteristics of the Empire, so that you don't quite know, are these the good guys or the bad guys? A lot of the helmets were established in the original trilogy. What we did was we went back to Skywalker Ranch and we gathered as many notes as we could. And then we came back here and I had my crew sculpt it in clay rather than doing a 3D print because I wanted to get some of that handmade detail that would have been in the original trilogy.
Stop. So you must like it because it's exactly like Greg said. When you're watching it, you notice the material that they used. I think
and when I look at like, you know, all the sound mistakes that are made in the first season and the odd choice of musical selection and everything, like that is nothing. What I'm concerned about is like, are those clay helmets or were they 3D printed for the one guy in the entire season that has a fucking helmet on? But like tracking fobs, don't explain that, please. For the love, and like why Beskar is not available, but everybody has it. Don't explain that, but make the helmets clay so they look worn, like they did in the opening scene of A New Hope. They're like, this is. I mean, these are things that I guess costume designers should probably try, details that they should probably get right. But like, can somebody spread her level of detail to like, I don't know, the major aspects of the goddamn show?
The real fucking things that need to actually
the
have
stuff
some
that's like actually
continuity to
important.
them.
I mean, it's great if everything else is in line and then you're drilling down to that detail, but it's like, boy, you missed everything else, but you nailed this like really insignificant detail. Like you got it. Damn good. You got the fabric right.
Well done. And you
and
wanted
the
the
clay
handcrafted clay helmet.
I mean, and that's the kind of information that I need to know when I'm watching behind the scenes stuff. I'm like, how did they make this show? What was the thought process going behind these decisions that they were made? Like, nah, bloopers. Nah, I don't want to see any of that. I want to know about the one fucking guy's helmet in one episode.
And his woolen uniform.
His wool uniform.
Oh, damn.
That is how bad they had to stretch to come up with like
something
material
for
this
scenes.
Documentary because it's just so vacuous and void.
And then we have this another behind the scenes thing. So Ariana Greenblatt, I don't even know if I said that properly, has released a new behind the scenes training video from Ahsoka. And this is from one of the flashbacks.
3, 2, 1, action.
Okay.
God, he looks bored doing it.
He does look bored. And like, I know it probably looked a little bit better on the when they actually did it, but like even this swing.
I mean, this might be in the early choreographing moments where they're not going full speed anyway. But like, it actually still looks like shit. And like, why is like here's a little problem I'm seeing. Like, where's Rosario?
Yeah. Well, this is the young Ahsoka.
Oh.
This is the young Ahsoka from the flashback. But like, you know, I mean, good on Hayden, I guess. But like, I'm sorry, but I just can't put up with the jangling keys that they put in front of my face with Hayden Christensen. You know, you can pay him the paycheck and he can be excited to be there. And, you know, obviously there's this as well. Let me just bring.
See what
this
they're
up
doing
really
there is
quickly.
they're like, hey, remember they had these were very popular videos from the prequel era about the behind the scenes. So let's do one of those for this show. That's
Yeah.
all that was.
That's exactly right. And
And
you look
they
at
could have practiced that one day and that's it, and we would never know.
Yeah, but you look at some of that behind the scenes stuff, like with Maul and Obi-Wan and stuff like that, and man, they're like, I don't know how many times they practiced it before they did a take for like behind the scenes stuff, right? But
they're
that
like
looks,
out of breath, panting. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
the fucking
working out.
lightsabers are fucking half bent and broken, just because of one take and shit like that. That was just, I don't know. Seeing something like this is just lame to me. But you've got Hayden Christensen says he wants to keep coming back to Star Wars in the future. I would love to get to do more. If such an opportunity presents itself, I'll be there with a big smile on my face.
Please give me more money.
Now, there's nothing wrong necessarily.
That's just Jeb Bush. Please clap to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that there's anything wrong with Hayden Christensen liking the idea of playing the role of Anakin. He, you know, especially in some of the behind
because he has no care about protecting the integrity of the character he's playing. So there's everything wrong with that. He literally is just like, give me a paycheck and I'll be there.
Yeah, that is true.
He's Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters. He'd be like, I'll if there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe in anything.
Yeah,
you know, like that's Hayden Christensen right now. Like they literally like do anything to his character. He doesn't care. He'll be there. Well, good for you. Like you'll take money. Like congratulations. Like wow. No, the more I see of him, the less respect I have for him.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hayden Christensen is another sellout. Well, this is the thing, is like it is just a paycheck. They've got no motivation themselves to protect George's legacy and the characters that, you know, they play.
Their own legacy, really.
Well, that's true too.
I mean, through the characters they play, because like every time that he comes back and his character gets further diminished, it hurts his own legacy in the long run. He just becomes this cameo tool.
And they've opened up the door to have Hayden be in like fucking heaps of shit with Ahsoka, with all those training fucking tapes that she's got. She's got like fucking heaps. And he's just going to be there as a fucking hologram and as a Force ghost watching over, you know, Ahsoka and shit at the end of Ahsoka. You got that. So I saw this as well. Like I said, to me, all of this stuff that's coming out from Star Wars Twitter, all of these things is just to try and keep Star Wars relevant. And essentially, especially with these characters, is for the shippers, right? So this is how this Ivana chick got into character. Like it talks about Natasha, the girl that plays Sabine, but we don't see her in this little video. But this is how she prepared herself and got herself ready for her role in Star Wars.
In those moments, I just would channel Darth Vader. Not necessarily even him as a character, but the darkness that he possesses. I would start breathing as he is before doing the take and trying to really reach the evil within me. Kind of like this, and he would begin, you know, kind of like that. In those moments.
Bullshit. One, bullshit. Two, like.
This is just for the fucking. This is, like I said, it is just put out there for the fucking idiots out there that believe
it's a fucking commercial. It'd be like, look, sweetie, honey, baby. Like, if you have to do that to just play generic evil-looking emo character, like, go back to acting school. You suck.
Yeah, and even the way that she did it.
Like, yeah, could you, like, yeah, she's on set. The director's like, you know, could you imagine the director would be like, are you okay? Are you having an asthma attack? Like, are you having an allergic reaction to the makeup? Like,
this is so that when people watch this,
medic,
they go like this.
Like, I want to see the outtake. I want to see the outtake on set where she's like doing that, and then the guy who played the other guy is like, "Are you fucking like? Is something wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? Like, can you not do that? You're being weird." Like,
So
I have to talk like I'm Stephanie Janicek in order to get into character as a bad guy,
so that she could channel the darkness. Ah, my God. I'm sorry, that's pretty fucking stupid.
Like I'm so like little child actors can fucking do like play the evil character thing. Like all you have to do is just look ahead and like look a little grumpy or constant. Like this is not even smell the fart level of acting.
I wanted to see if there was a fucking clip of how fucking the other chick got into character. No, there's nothing there. I clicked on the link. There's nothing there. It's just that same video. There you go. So there's some behind the scenes stuff for you guys. Yeah, we watched the new Civil War trailer at the beginning of the stream, Lethal.
So you got a lot of people tuning in early, but like they're making a new Marvel movie.
Yeah. So basically, again, I just think that this that this stuff is being put out there to try and keep Star Wars as relevant as possible during these downtimes where there's no shows and there's no movies. And they're trying to it's kind of like Greg said, they're trying to feed off the fact that back in the day with the older, movies and stuff like that, it was those behind the scenes things were received really well by the fans. It's like, oh, check out, the behind the scenes stuff with Ewan McGregor and, the Darth Maul.
Because they were more authentic.
Sort of
like,
that's right.
For the prequels, they were it was a little bit more obvious that they were produced. Like I'm not going to give the prequels an absolute pass on that because they knew that they would be releasing this later, as like little documentaries and stuff like that for the process. But like these days now, it is so manufactured. It's as manufactured as everything else in Hollywood. It is all focus grouped.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's one of the reasons why is Hollywood like only in sequel mode and everything is because I mean, those things have proven track records that they can just duplicate because that's really all they're capable of doing now.
Yeah. No, Lethal. It's like it's just a Tim Pool apparently produced this movie.
I don't think that's true.
I don't know if it is either. But no, they came out with a trailer of a movie called Civil War, and it's just America in a civil war, basically. It's got nothing to do with
it's a modern dystopian, like the US at war with itself, civil war.
Yeah. Yep. They came out with a trailer.
So it's even gayer and worse. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. All right, we sort of talked about this and because of the behind the scenes things, because that's where it came from. And we sort of talked a little bit about it. But of course, they're releasing only season 1 and 2. They don't mention anything about 3 in here, which I find quite interesting. 4K.
It's too early. I mean, if you think about it, like look, season 2 finished in It finished pre-COVID.
Yeah, true.
Or no, it finished. It finished
during COVID.
No, because it came out Rise of Skywalker.
No, season 1 came out Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yes. The heel season 1. Season 2 came out end of 2020. It finished.
Yeah.
So it came out
pretty much right in the middle of COVID.
There was a 3-year gap between seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah, but that might have been because of COVID.
It might have been, but like what I'm saying is like season 3 just came out months ago. Like it's a little early to do like the season DVD of it. If they're going to put it back, if they're going to use, if they want people to like tune into specifically to Disney Plus in order to watch it, like it does. It's like, to me, I would not read anything into the fact that season 3 isn't out yet, given that it's taken this long for season 1 to come out.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's watch this little thing that they put out. It's 20 seconds.
I've been quested with returning this child to the Jedi.
Until he comes back to you.
This is the way.
This is so gay. That's it. That's it.
You know what I want to see is like, I want to see a cut of the Mandalorian show where like they replace the fucking stupid catchphrases from "This is the way" to "I have spoken," because remember that was the thing everybody repeated in season 1 was not "This is the way," it was "I have spoken."
Oh, I've spoken.
Like, McNulty's character.
Yeah.
Like replace that with like a Bart Simpson clip going like "Eat my shorts, man." So you're watching it, and then like all the things like "Eat my shorts, man," "Eat my shorts," because it's just. The phrase is so meaningless and stupid in context to be like, we're about to make a really dumb decision. This is the way.
Yeah.
Like every time they say this is the way, it's preceded by them making a really tactically stupid decision.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to convince themselves to do something really stupid by saying this is the way.
This is the way. Yeah, no, I know.
And then they're morons. Basement IQ Neanderthal fuckwit audience mindlessly repeats it back at the screen. No, this is the way.
But see, they used it in a meta way too, because they're like, "Oh, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are doing Star Wars right. This is the way."
Yeah,
you know they use
so fucking gay.
It's so fucking gay. But this, who was it? Soul Assassin, season 4 movie. Will erase season 3. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. So we talked about this last week, how it was rumored that The Mandalorian season 4 will be a movie and the next Star Wars film.
Hey, you know what rumor we haven't gotten is like, is Favreau involved in season 4? Because I thought like the reason season 3 was so terrible that it was because he was on, he's quitting and he gave up.
No. My understanding didn't he come out and say that he did seasons 3 and 4 together? He wrote them all as one.
Oh, are you saying that like the rumor monger, worthless, know nothing business YouTube channel is
full of shit?
Are full of shit?
Yeah, because Jon Favreau specifically came out and said that he did seasons 1 and 2. 3 and 4 all together. But there's obviously
weird because I thought that was the excuse for season 3 as being bad, was that he just gave up.
So the source for that was the Insider. Insider. And then there's a new source for this.
Why would you go back to that? Why would you capitalize it like that? Like, why would you capitalize the S in Insider? Because it looks like what the hashtag is Thean Snyder. Like that's a person or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mandoverse Updates is a fucking retard.
I don't know. But then there's a new fucking source for this one saying The Mandalorian season 4 will remain a series.
Of course.
And then you've got
there was no
doubt
there was going to. They've already announced they're going to do a Mandoverse movie. Like that's obviously going to come later.
Yeah. And then The Mandalorian season 4 will begin filming in February 24. Look,
that's late. I've expected that they would have already started filming it by now. But okay.
So would I. But like, you got to think maybe after how badly season 3 was received, that Jon Favreau doing his season 3 and season 4 script all together, maybe they changed it. Maybe they. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
Who knows, man? But that's basically this here was a bullshit rumor to again keep the wheel turning for Star Wars, keep people talking about it. Oh, they're going to make season 4 a movie. They've already announced that Dave Filoni, it's exactly like fucking Greg just said. They've already announced that the fucking movie, they're going to do a Mandoverse movie anyway. Yes, fucking this is the way. That they're going to do a Mandoverse movie. So why would they? Like, I didn't believe this when I saw it. We talked about it last week. It's all just so that they can keep the Mandalorian being relevant and Star Wars being relevant in the discussion of what's coming.
It's because these people that run these accounts have nothing to actually contribute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Jacobs, the Mace Windu fucks, these TikTok and Twitter fucks in particular, that all they do is just clip Star Wars content and like republish it under their own account. They have to keep talking about Star Wars because literally nobody would listen to them for anything else.
No, yeah.
So all they have for them is to continue, because that's their entire identity is Star Wars. They are not even human entities outside of the Star Wars world. They have to have Star Wars. They have to continue to promote Star Wars, or they don't exist.
Yep.
And so that's like, and Disney knows that there's a ton of these people that like basically their entire monetization thing is just literally just clipping shit and going, that's the greatest moment in Star Wars, like 35 times a week.
You see a lot of that with the Seals of the Week, actually.
Yeah, that's almost always the Seals of the Week. It's just like I'm gonna cut and paste a piece of one of the shows or the movies and then say something like, this is the best moment ever.
Yep.
And yeah, that is a lot of people, John 40. That is a lot of people. That is a large aspect of social media for sure. But there's some of us on there that actually like discussing things and talking and like interacting with people and not just like fucking being surrogate commercials for corporate media projects.
Yeah. All right, there's 2 more things that I just quickly want to touch on, and then we'll do Seal of the Week. We'll then watch Melvin's video on the Sparrow Files. Did you watch his new video?
I did. Fucking
you did?
Great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
You want to hang around for that, yeah?
Sure.
Awesome. All right, let me just bring up. We got 2 more quick things that I'm just gonna touch on here. The first one is this. So this person has actually been nominated for Seal of the Week. So who knows? So Star Wars is now officially Disney Plus's biggest hit. That's surprising due to the fact that the ratings for all the Star Wars shows just continue to plummet. The success of Star Wars has surpassed that of Marvel on Disney Plus, and no MCU series made IMDb's top 10 television series in 2023. There you go. And
that means nothing. That's just like it's the best of the worst.
That's
what
right.
Fucking do like that.
And popular series like The Mandalorian and Ahsoka dominate the top ratings.
No, they don't.
Whoop-de fucking do. They're still shit.
Then why doesn't Disney release the raw numbers?
No, that's true too. That's very true. And then there was also this. I just want to quickly touch on this. So this is again from Mandoverse updates. The kids in Star Wars Skeleton Crew are rumored to ride BMX bikes, and now it wouldn't surprise me, inspired by films.
Please
such
tell
as
me they're fucking
E.T.
scooters. Tell me that they're fucking pastel colored scooters, and
been
I'm
translated into speeder bikes. Do it. Fucking do it, man.
E.T. is a movie that is near and dear to my heart. I was like the perfect age for it when it came out. I know some people don't like it because it was up against kind of like Return of the Return of the Jedi in the theaters and everything, but like E.T. is a fantastic fucking movie with a great score, one of John Williams' great themes. It wouldn't surprise me that they rip it off and make it terrible. Like even Spielberg has come out and said, like, you know, when he made that like re-release where they digitally edited the guns out.
Yeah.
He's like, that was stupid. I shouldn't have ever done that.
That was so fucking stupid.
Fuck you, Blackroyd. E.T. does not suck.
Plasma19 for 5 says, I enjoyed taking back Mandalore from the Empire in Star Wars Empire at War. Far more than I enjoyed season 3 of obviously The Mandalorian. The concluding battle in Mandalore was so goofy. Are you talking about
the
in
entire
the entire thing
concept
it was
of
goofy.
Mandalore is fucking retarded. Like this show supposedly is to elevate fucking what's her name?
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Karen.
Yep.
Bo-Katan is supposed to be like elevated by the series. Like they made her an actual literal fucking retard who like was hanging out in orbit around fucking Mandalore and never bothered to see if it was fucking breathable or not. When there's not only were there other people, other Mandalorians on the planet living there, the fucking Moff Gideon had a whole fucking base set up and she didn't bother checking once. She's like, somebody told me it was poison and I just believed them.
I just believed it. Yeah.
Like she's the dumbest fucking retard ever.
And she was right there, just sitting on her
She's
throne.
literally right fucking there. Like she could get a telescope out and fucking look and to be like, hey, there's fucking people down there. I guess it's not fucking poison.
Yeah. There's actual Mandalorians on a fucking like a levitating barge or something.
I mean, that's how retarded Star Wars is now. I'd be like, well, somebody said the planet is uninhabitable, so like I guess we take their word for it.
Yeah. Plasman, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. The whole thing is fucking goofy, man. But yes, no, your Mandalore Empire, Star Wars.
I will
Empire
say this: the Mandalorians, as depicted
by Disney,
deserved what they got. And the Empire's biggest mistake is leaving one of them fuckers alive. They should have genocided all of them because there's not one Mandalorian in the entire galaxy that is worth the air they breathe. Hashtag genocide. Like there's 2 planets in the universe of science fiction that just absolutely should be genocided: Mandalore and Bajor.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, fucking Disney's so fucking shit at making Star Wars. They're actually so shit at just making entertainment in general at the moment. But you know, when we're talking specifically about Star Wars, they got no fucking clue, and either does fucking Dave Filoni.
Nobody bothered to be like, hey, that doesn't make sense. She's right there. Why would she have never checked? Like, did nobody ask that question? Not anybody on the entire fucking show was like, hey,
did you go and check it out?
That seems kind of dumb that she wouldn't just like take a ship and go like, look. And because of course the answer would be like, yeah, that is kind of stupid, isn't it? Like, yeah, really that's pretty fucking stupid. Considering like, you know, 10 plus years ago, the Empire was able to send out droids to investigate and like massive amounts of planets looking for the rebel base. Like, remember that thing in Star Wars where they sent droids to like all sorts of different planets and they cruised down there and they were like looking around.
Yeah, the Imperial probe droids.
Yeah, like That technology apparently like blew up with the Death Star. They could never make one again. And like nobody thought like, hey, let's send a probe down to man. Like we won't even drive the couple blocks to Mandalore. We'll send a probe. No, we're not even going to do that. Somebody said it was poisoned, and we're going to believe him. God damn it.
Mm-hmm. Disney isn't shit. You just hate women, gays, sorry, and people of color. Oh, and trans too. Yep.
Absolutely. I hate them all.
Yep, me too. All right, let's do Seal of the Week. We've got too many. We've got one too many. So you guys need to pick the nominee again. So let's give you the two that you've got to pick from. So for a one in the chat is this one here from Brody.
Why don't you just do a pre-poll?
Because it's easier just to quickly like get people to put a number in the chat and then select, and then I can just do the normal poll. So Brody One Kenobi, Brody One Kenobi says, I think General Hux is probably the most forgettable main character from the sequels. He had so much potential, and I loved his speech scene in TFA, but kind of got cast aside because the fans didn't care for him too much, because it's the fans' fault, remember? There was just too many characters in these movies. Now,
he was a generic Nazi bad guy in the first in The Force Awakens, and he's not a main character either. So wrong on all accounts, sir.
Correct. But I do agree with he's being one of the most forgettable main characters. Well, not a main character.
No, he's not a main character. It's like the entire premise of his tweet is incorrect.
Greg, do you want to read this one? This is number 2, guys, from Jacob.
Oh God, I hate this fucker. Oh, here we go. Classic. We're gonna just show some pictures and like this is my favorite. Okay.
Yep.
The opening to The Last Jedi isn't just one of my favorite space battles. It's also easily one of the best openings to any Star Wars film. Immediately captivates you both visually and emotionally, all while telling you the central themes of the movie. Absolutely phenomenal.
This Jacob guy has so many of the best fucking like Star Wars moments.
That's all he does.
Scenes and everything. That's why I thought it was a fucking
what a fucking like a bot could do better.
Bot. Yeah. So they're the two that you got to pick from. This one is number 1 and this one is number 2. So who gets the nomination? 1 or 2? I personally would pick number 2, Jacob.
I mean, 1 is just flat out wrong, but like 2 is just like it's again this idiotic premise of the like where I'm just gonna show a picture. Like, what part of this battle is even remotely entertaining? It's boring as fuck.
It's the your mama joke bit.
It's so stupid. It's like these ships just fly in and get killed. Like, it's dumb.
Well, 2's got it so far. Nuisance Bird wants number 1, but that's okay. I think number 2's got it. Most of you guys in the chat so far have said 2. All right, number 2 takes it. So we're getting rid of this one and number 2. All right, let's officially do this.
Hello, the Jedi.
All right, here we go. Here we go. So, nominee number 1. Does this unit have a soul? A shipper takes the first nomination. I love seeing all the seal claps in the chat. You guys are awesome. All right, here we go. They deserve some sleepy. Please let them rest. Happy hashtag Wolf Ren Wednesday. Hashtag Shinhati. Hashtag Sabine Wren. Fucking hell, man. Fucking hell. Look at the art. Fucking shippers. Fucking shippers, man. Fucking nuts. All right, nominee number 2. I do see your other super chat there, Plasmin. I'll get to that in just a second. Nominee number 2. Star Wars Theory gets a nomination this week because he says, miss this little guy. He misses Grogu. Did you see the first nominee, Greg?
I did. I'm disgusted by it. I'm incensed by it for so many reasons. Because, like, I despise shippers. That's well known. I've gone on many rants about shippers. But in addition to that, the person said, like, these people need sleepy. I hate adults who talk like babies.
Like children, yeah. I need sleepy. They deserve sleepy.
I think I am for free speech, except for adults who talk like babies to other adults. They should be instantly
You're on my channel.
put to death.
Thank you. That's enough of that. All right. We've got
Minecraft.
Around the Galaxy. Now, this is Happy Birthday to The Last Jedi. What an amazing film by Ryan Johnson. Hashtag TLJ, hashtag Star Wars. Let's have a listen, shall we? We get our first ever video nomination.
December 14th, 2017, 6 years ago today, I saw The Last Jedi for the first time. And I remember when I walked out of the theater with a friend of mine, I turned to him and I said, that was both the best and the worst Star Wars film I had ever seen. A few days later, I had come to realize that it is my favorite Star Wars story. It's not the first film I pull off the shelf if I'm going to be watching a Star Wars movie, but it is definitely my favorite story. It tells the story of what it means to be a hero, what happens after the effects and the events of being a hero. And it talks a lot about what the impact of heroes is on those that worship them. In a way, The Last Jedi speaks much more directly to the people who don't like it than the people that love it. So happy birthday to the most divisive Star Wars film. I'm going to watch it today in its honor, and I hope you do too. Hope you enjoy this video, and leave a comment below and tell me what you think about The Last Jedi.
What do you guys think?
Oh, it's my favorite movie, but it's not the first one I'd watch.
Yeah, it's my favorite Star Wars story, but it's not the first one I'd watch. He doesn't say movie. He just says, this is aesthetic. Yeah, it is. It is.
It is amazing to me, like, to this day, like, they are still trying to convince themselves that it's a good movie.
That it's not as, not that.
Because I think that's all this is. Like, it's just...
But I don't understand how
TLJ fans trying to convince each other like that they're not retarded.
I don't know how you can walk out of the movie theater and think to yourself, this is both the best and the worst.
It was
Star Wars
boring.
movie.
Like, even if you like putting the story aside and the bastardization of Luke and everything, like the entire center of the movie was completely mind-numbingly boring.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about Canto Bight. Like, it was just boring.
Yeah.
I was angry and bored watching that movie in the theater. I was both.
I can hear Mauler laughing from here too. Yeah, no, me as well. Yeah. All right, and then the last one, of course, is Jacob with the opening to The Last Jedi. Isn't just one of my favorite space battles. It's also easily one of the best openings to any Star Wars film. Immediately captivating, immediately captivates you both visually and emotionally, all while telling you the central theme of the film. I don't even get that. How does that scene like captivate that the central theme of the film? I don't really get that. Absolutely phenomenal.
Needless self-sacrifice.
Demoted for doing the right thing.
Like that, I guess that's the theme of the movie, is just needless self-sacrifice, self-immolation.
Yeah. All right, let me put the poll in the chat for you guys. One, two, three, 4. The poll is in the chat. Get your votes in. So, just to recap, we've got number 1, The Shipper. Number 2, Star Wars Theory. Number 3 is the anniversary of The Last Jedi from around the galaxy. And number 4 is Jacob with another best scene and best thing from Star Wars that he's ever seen. Get your votes in.
I even know which one I'm going for. The baby talk does it for me.
The baby talk does it for you. Well, it's a good nominee. All right. Let's do this, shall we? We got a big video to go over and talk about from Melvin. Knights of Melvin. We're going to copy that link and we're going to put that in the chat. If you're not subscribed to Melvin, become a knight. Avenge Star Wars. There it is there. All right, so 2 weeks ago, we watched essentially episode 1, the opening of the Sparrow Files. I watched this one after my stream last week, but we're going to watch the 3rd edition to...
Oh, wow, it's 25 minutes. I didn't even realize it was that long.
Yeah. So we're going to watch...
It doesn't feel like 25 minutes when you watch it.
Oh, fucking stop doing that.
These are so well... Like he really... He made these feel like you're watching like some like Dateline NBC expose series. Like
fantastic job.
These are well made.
Yeah, very well made. Oh, hang on, I got to get that super chat that I missed earlier. From Plasmin again. Where is it? Oh, I could just click on here. Here we go. Plasmin for 5 says everyone in Disney Star Wars is challenged. Yeah, fucking retardedly challenged. The New Republic disarmed despite having what's that?
Genocidal neighbors.
Genocidal neighbors. The New Republic disarmed despite having genocidal neighbors. Like South Korea disarming disarming to North Korea. The way that they've actually done the New Republic in like Andor and stuff like that, man, the New Republic is fucked.
Well, the New Republic isn't in Andor. That's the rebellion at that point. They're not in governing power there.
In Andor?
Yeah, Andor's pre...
Oh, sorry, not Andor. What was I... which one was it?
Mandalorian? Book of
Was it
Boba
Mando?
Fett?
No,
Ahsoka?
the one where the scientist guy is fucking brainwashed, like, and the chick's there. Which one? Which fucking one is it? It might have been Mando season 3.
No, that was
The guy with the glasses.
Yeah, that he gets deprogrammed by the
Deprogrammed. Is that Mando season 3? Sorry, I'm fucking. It's all one big blur to me.
Yeah. Yes.
But yes, you're 100% right, Plasmin. Thank you for that. All right, here we go. The 3rd edition in the Sparrow Files. Let's do this.
Even they got like the dramatic music. It's great.
Yeah.
This is a code name that we've given them, and they are somebody within Lucasfilm / Disney that I've met personally. I've confirmed their identity. I've confirmed who they are. I've confirmed their ability to access this level of information.
Cameron Pasha is a con artist. Cameron Pasha made an imaginary source called Sparrow. On today's episode of The Sparrow Files, we'll take a bigger look at the major scoops Sparrow has reported, and you'll see just how ridiculous Cameron Pasha's con is. I'm Darth Melvin, leader of the Knights of Melvin, and this is The Sparrow Files.
Love it.
We've already gone over briefly some of the absurdities coming from Cameron's Patreon. One of them is recycling the old story, Kathleen Kennedy is being fired.
The first introduction I had to Sparrow was last fall when they reached out and they had details of the severance package. And they had said that the severance package, which they claim to have seen themselves, came out to, depending on how the stock price is factored, came out to about $25 to $30 million. And a lot of it's going to be in stock options and things. But that's a pretty large payout. It's similar to what Bob Chapek apparently got, right?
Cameron's very first interaction with Sparrow included details of Kathleen Kennedy's severance package. We are 1 year removed, and Kathleen Kennedy is still at the company.
I gotta just say,
for like, Disney severance, they call contracts severance packages. So I mean, he was right. It's like you agree to work for us and for this much money for this period of time, and like most companies would say that's a contract, and Disney just calls them severance packages.
But I just wanted to say in the second video, Melvin like brings up the whole thing about how at Star Wars Celebration that's when they were going to give her like a a nice little out,
the Viking funeral.
Yeah, that's it. And that never happened, obviously. But yeah, so if you haven't watched the second one, if you haven't watched any of them, like I said, go over to Melvin. He's fucking great. Watch these videos, and they're very informative.
These are extraordinarily well done.
Well done, yeah, exactly.
But Cameron's Patreon is not just about Kathleen Kennedy and shilling for Disney Star Wars. He pushes other wild theories. In November 2022, CEO Bob Chapek was fired from Disney. Cameron used the ancient Pasha method of storytelling, and another lie was born.
Over the past few days, we've been given the official narrative of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek's fall from grace. The problem is, it doesn't make sense. The official narrative.
I love his voice.
Disney leadership.
He does the voice so well too. Like it's so good. Oh man, this is so good. Love it.
A spin, and poorly thought out spin for that matter. The trouble is, the facts, as we have them, don't make any sense either. At least as discrete units without a thread to connect them all. What we need is a grand unified field theory that brings them all together into a cohesive narrative, and that is what I am going to do here. Let me present to you the Pasha theory of Chapek's downfall.
Firstly, he accuses Leslie Headland of faking a photo shoot to make it appear she is working on the greenlit show The Acolyte. He claims she wasn't on set. She was at Galaxy's Edge. Next, Sean Levy's unnamed Star Wars movie is brought up.
Both of these suggest panic inside Lucasfilm, and as a source who spoke with someone at Lucasfilm told me, the panic had been precipitated by a very ugly conversation between Bob Chapek and Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy.
Bob Chapek!
13%.
What?
His voice is so great, and then like the faces that he like the still shots he has the camera's heads.
I know.
It's just like it's
fucking great.
A lot of thought and effort went into these videos. Let me tell you.
There was a hiring freeze. Margot Robbie's Pirates of the Caribbean was canceled. This is a take from the Wall Street Journal.
On Sunday night, Walt Disney Company decided to replace its chief executive, Bob Chapek, with his predecessor, Robert Iger. 2 weeks ago, after the company reported pretty dismal fourth quarter earnings, there was a general sense that financially the company was not doing well. My sources are telling me that not only was it the earnings that alarmed the board of directors, but also Mr. Chapek's tone on the phone call with investors. The division that includes Disney Plus, which is called direct-to-consumer streaming, has lost more than $8.5 billion since Disney Plus was launched in late 2019. And investors hear that and they look at that and they say, well, wait a minute, how on earth are you going to get to profitability? And there was real sense, I think, among investors that he wasn't really being straight with them.
Seems
$8.5 billion. That's fucking insane, man.
It is, but like a lot of that is the infrastructure, not just the show's production budgets.
No, I get that.
A lot of it's the production budgets, but
it's the total. Like that's a total. Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
Netflix took forever to make money.
No wonder the stock is fucking plummeting, and no wonder the investors are getting pissed.
Well, it is because like it's it's twofold. They did like the worst case scenario. It's like their box office revenues declining, and what was supposed to replace that is underperforming.
Yeah.
So they made this conscious decision that we're gonna like forgo the box office totals, and we're gonna make all of our money over here on Disney Plus. And it's like, but Disney Plus doesn't make any money either.
Yeah. Fucking crazy.
Reasonable. To put it simply, Chapek sucked as a CEO. Disney was losing money, and the board had no confidence in him going forward. But Cameron Pasha, using the ancient Pasha method of storytelling, didn't want to accept that narrative. He needed a greater reason for why the board wanted Chapek out. He said it had something to do with the dates between November 9th and 20th.
My theory is that Disney was invested in FTX and that the collapse of the fraudulent exchange has brought the company into existential financial crisis. I believe Disney CFO Christian McCarthy embroiled the company in FTX without Chapek's knowledge and likely on the behest of board members and woke capital firms such as BlackRock, which hold significant shares in Disney. And when Bob Chapek found out what she had done, McCarthy had no choice but to ask the board to remove him before they were all held accountable for the disaster.
Wow.
If I am correct, the inexplicable removal of Bob Chapek is part of the criminal cover-up that is one of the biggest scandals in Hollywood history.
Is anyone shocked that this would be what happened? If there was cryptocurrency they were going to get involved in, it would be FTX.
But if I am right, how can this scandal be kept from the public? Well, the first thing that needs to be done is make sure that Disney is not revealed in court filings they have any stake in FTX. And yesterday, it was announced that the bankruptcy court has permitted large investors who lost money in FTX to remain anonymous. But even with this legal cover, a fraud of this scale cannot be kept hidden forever, especially if Disney's cash flow has been severely impacted. So what would the board do to solve this crisis? The only option would be to sell the company in order to keep Disney afloat.
Bah, don't worry about any of them going to jail, because Chapek isn't a rat. He has an NDA.
It's like, all right, I got $23 million, but now I'm being accused of criminal malfeasance. Do I hold my NDA and protect, or do I protect my reputation and myself from actual criminal liability? I don't know that Chapek is going to stay silent forever. I think
an NDA has nothing to do with criminal activity. That's the thing.
Correct.
He could say something.
Thank you, Tom.
NDA.
Yeah.
How do you get into government? I don't get it. He's got shit for brains.
A few days later, Cameron addressed the Wall Street Journal. It was reported that under Chapek, budgets were shifted so they wouldn't be counted against Disney Plus. This way, it would seem like Disney Plus is losing less money on original content. This is one of the many things CFO Christine McCarthy or an investor would be concerned about. Cameron denies this being the truth, suggests there has to be more to the story, and that Disney actually planted this story at the Wall Street
Oh, no
Journal.
shit.
This was done so to cover up the fact that FTX is the real problem. And of course, this has to be real because Stephanie Janicek is behind it.
The more I think about this, the more I believe this theory is the case.
I almost think I might get a phone call or an email from Disney Legal saying cease and desist from making these things. So I'm stating this is speculation. This is just me as a human being looking at all the data points and releasing publicly.
It's almost like taking with a grain of salt.
The only theory that connects all the data points to me is
I guess he did start it off saying this is my theory on it all. But yeah. It's kind of like Melvin saying he needed to make it a bigger thing than what it actually was, you know.
Caught in FTX, you're all in trouble. You need to sell this company to Apple and cover it up. And you need to silence Bob Chapek and put the blame on him so that you don't go to jail. That is my theory.
Now, the major thing about Cameron's FTX theory is that it is Cameron's FTX theory.
Yeah.
However, the FTX theory conveniently and perfectly aligns with other scoops from
that's
Sparrow.
right.
Another one of Cameron's major claims is The Acolyte is a fake show. November 7th, 2022, he posts.
Yes. Oh, before we get into this, I can't wait for the Acolyte to drop. And then what narrative is he going to spin? And Stephanie Janicek, mind you, because she is so on board with, like, this isn't a real show. They're not actually, it's not something that's going to happen. It's not something that's coming out. It doesn't even exist. Like,
Well, it'll be just like the Viking funeral and Sarah Celebration. Be like, oh, well, she just said no.
Yeah, but
and did it anyway. And like apparently the CEO is just powerless to do anything about it. I mean, that's what they want you to believe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
As I saw.
Sorry.
Everything about it is just absurd on its face. But
yeah,
like I love the idea of it, like an end, like, oh, he can't say anything in a criminal investigation because he's under an NDA. Yeah, that like imagine how great that would work for all the companies doing nefarious things out there if like an NDA would stop whistleblowers from whistleblowing.
Well, yeah. Imagine like some person signing an NDA before they get raped.
Yeah, it doesn't absolve you from like anything. But like his theory hinges on that, like that entire premise to be like, well, yeah, but he's not going to say anything because he's under an NDA.
Yeah, so stupid.
The fake show. November 7th, 2022, he posts.
Yes, I saw the new Acolyte is supposedly greenlit. I say supposedly because it still doesn't make any sense. And the fact that Leslie Headland is supposedly directing its pilot episode is even more bizarre. Headland's directing experience is comically minimal, with a couple of small indie films a decade ago no one has ever heard of.
Her comically thin directing resume is better than your writing resume, asshole.
That's true.
2022.
As many members of the Patreon are asking about what is happening with Leslie Headland, here is the Pasha theory of the Acolyte. The show is not officially greenlit by Disney. Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland are continuing their efforts to bullshit their way into getting a green light by creating a PR narrative that the show is a go. They are financing a cheap pilot using Lucasfilm development funds in order to present to Bob Iger a template for what the series could be if he greenlights it and gives them the money. Because Headland...
I don't understand. Like, if the Acolyte wasn't really happening, and this is a PR stunt by Leslie Headland and Kathleen Kennedy, why wouldn't like Bob Iger just come out and go, "No, this show isn't happening"? Why would he allow like all of these fucking like articles and shit like this to come out? What? That nothing about that makes any sense to me.
Well, of course.
Using Lucasfilm discretionary funds, which are limited, the quality for the production design is lacking. Her desperate hope is that she can keep the grift going for a few more months, while Kennedy tries to strong-arm Iger into greenlighting the show and giving them a budget in the 50 to 100 million range so that she can reshoot the shoebox pilot and make it look good.
That's how they're gonna say it. Like, at the end of the day, fucking Kathleen Kennedy was actually able to strong Bob Iger into greenlighting it. So that's how it ended up coming out. It gives them
and look at that. We have reshoots built into the
God.
narrative already, right?
Darth Spampton for $20. Thanks, dude. Says Cameron Pasha doesn't realize that investing, in FTX isn't a crime. It was a legal what's that?
Sorry, it wasn't at my computer. Hold on.
Sorry. Man, that's one fucking
cryptocurrency.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to read it as all anyway. Cryptocurrency. What Sam Bankman fired. Is that
Sam
a person?
Bankman-Fried, that's his name.
Oh, okay.
He was the CEO and the guy who ran FTX.
Okay.
And his team was criminal, not those who invested in the FTX scam were victims of a crime, not criminals. That is correct.
Okay. Sorry, I've completely fucked up that super chat, but thank you, Darth Spampton.
That would be like accusing investors in Enron of malfeasance when it was like the board that was manipulating the finances.
So stupid, man. Yeah.
And the other thing is be like, I don't think Disney just poured tons of money into FTX. Like they had just tons of money laying around in cash, and that's how they were. I mean, a more plausible theory was that they had money tied up in Silicon Bank that went tits up, but those losses were covered anyway. So like even that the entire theory is obviously wrong because obviously Disney hasn't sold to Apple either.
No, that's right. And that was a narrative that he was pushing, right?
I mean, it was covered in this in this video. Yeah, like oh yeah, they're gonna have to sell to get out from and hide the whole fact that they got
and hide
caught
the
up in
criminal.
FTX scandal.
Yeah. Fuck, man. This is some mental gymnastics by Cameron Pasha. Thank you, Darth Spamderman. Sorry,
That's why he's a
fucked that
failed
up.
screenwriter. He's not good at making shit up.
Yeah. Let me just go. Oh, hang on.
More.
Let's just go back here.
Million range so that she can reshoot the shoebox pilot and make it look good. The more likely outcome is that Hedlund finishes the pilot, it looks bad, and Iger denies the show a full season. Thus, it is shelved and never ends up on Disney+. So what do you all think of the latest Pasha theory?
I'm like, does it really have to go through Bob Iger for it to be greenlit? Can't Kathleen Kennedy make that decision as the president of Lucasfilm?
Well, it depends on how they structure it. Like ultimately, for the go-ahead to spend, $100+ million on a TV show, I would imagine that it would get all the way up to Iger's level.
Yeah, okay.
Notice how this is another Pasha theory, like FTX was. But on January 25th, Sparrow is getting involved with Cameron's theory.
Oh, here we go.
And of course, Sparrow is supporting it.
The eye of Pasha is gazing down on the Acolyte, and it burns through the veil of bullshit surrounding this project. Some of you were concerned about an article that appeared in the Hollywood Reporter this morning, where the alleged star Amanda Stenberg was interviewed about her involvement in this alleged series. I turned to our source, Sparrow, inside Disney. This is what they had to say. The Acolyte is not being spun up in-house yet, no sets have been booked, and no locations have been scouted. Also, Carrie-Ann Moss, supposedly the lead of the show, has seminars booked with her lifestyle brand for all February and March at least. It's all smoke and mirrors.
I'm sorry. I love how he brings the Cameron Pasha images into the fucking screen.
I know.
Well,
What's really great is like, okay, look at the date at this one. Right?
Yeah. What?
January?
January 25th, yeah.
Okay, so later in that year, like they filmed, it was around April, and they had locations and they had all that stuff. Just for the record, like there were pictures on websites on locations of where they were filming.
We've had behind the scenes pictures of Leslie Hedlund
Yeah.
speaking to the actors and shit. Like,
Yeah. But well, you could say that might be staged on some like closed set or something, but like no, they were actually like on location at parks filming shit with like entire film crews and everything. So yeah. This one didn't really hold up, but like what Melvin's angle here is that basically it's like, oh, isn't it convenient that Sparrow's crap always just happens to align with Pasha's weirdo theories?
Yeah.
Weird how that works.
It can't just like there can't be like some disalignment. It's like, this is my theory. Oh, Sparrow's now come out and confirmed my theory. Fucking man, this is crazy. Fucking Melvin, you fucking legend.
It's all smoke and mirrors, which in this town is saying something.
It's interesting coming from Sparrow. No sets have been booked. No locations have been scouted. This is just a sizzle reel. Forbes reported that Disney spent $49.2 million on pre-production for The Acolyte.
Yep.
How did they know this? They looked on the financial statements of Blue Stockings UK Limited, the company that is producing The Acolyte. And these financial statements were audited. In our opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of the company's affairs as at September 24th, 2022, and on its profit for the period then ended, have been properly prepared in accordance with United Kingdom generally accepted accounting practice, and have been prepared in accordance with the requirements of the
That
Companies
destroys
Act
his narrative
2006.
completely.
So Safri Champness LLP says the financial statements are good, but Sparrow has something different to say.
Sparrow was able to track a couple of 50,000 euro play payments that are credited. Again, the Sparrow's in a position that they're able to know what's in the books. And Sparrow told me I can find 2 entries for 50,000 euros recently for filming in Europe for some scenes for The Acolyte, not for a whole show, but 50,000 euros will get you a couple of days worth of work. I mean, this is a show like that's going to cost millions of euros.
Right. Perhaps Cameron needs to get his own guy in there to check out these books.
20 million deposited on Manny Bank, Zurich, upon proof of Green's death.
Oh man.
I haven't seen The Naked Gun in forever. I need to rewatch it. Zucker movies like Airplane.
That's so good.
Naked
That's
Gun
so
are great.
good. That's probably what he got copyrighted on too. Because he was talking about how the videos gotten copyrighted. So anyway.
Would tell you that the financial statements are fake, that the auditors were bought, and you need to have faith in Sparrow that there was some major fraud going on. One of the angles Cameron tried to use was Karen McCarthy agreed to become the producer of The Acolyte in April 2022. She turned down an offer from Apple, and 2 weeks later, Lucasfilm wanted out of the deal. They offered her only $5,000, which is a joke, and this resulted in a lawsuit. Breaching contract, bad faith denial of an agreement, and seeking statutory penalties. Cameron tried to use the very low $5,000 offer as evidence that The Acolyte is a fake show. If this wasn't a sizzle reel, why didn't they make a bigger offer? This is just very flawed logic coming from someone who is a master of the ancient Pasha method of storytelling. Most importantly,
I love the ancient Pasha method.
Yeah. The ancient Pasha method of storytelling.
By looking at the financial statements for Blue Star.
And he was talking about $50,000. It's $50 million.
No, that's what he's saying. Is like, don't believe the 50 million. My guy's only able to find 50,000 here and there.
Right.
But
the statement, the financial statement says 50 million.
Yeah.
Fake and bought off people. Fucking hell.
Stockings UK Limited. Cameron chose to dig himself an even deeper hole.
Attorneys for Karen McCarthy, the executive producer who is suing Lucasfilm for being dropped from the non-existent show The Acolyte, reached out to me, Cameron Pasha, to discuss what I know. I guess they heard about my booming Patreon and my Sparrow contact. They felt it was crucial to their legal case to talk to the finest screenwriter in Hollywood. Me, Cameron Pasha. Cameron Pasha. I spoke with Robert E. Allen, who was senior partner at the law firm place for a while. Much of our conversation was confidential, and Mr. Allen revealed to me some shocking details as to what happened to Miss McCarthy that are not yet in the public record. As a former attorney myself, I do not want to jeopardize the legal case, so I will have to keep those details private for now. But I will say that McCarthy's attorneys are dedicated to uncovering the truth of what is really going on with this mysterious production. And he indicated that nothing makes sense about the public claims Leslie Headland has made about the show and the reality of how Miss McCarthy was treated and how Disney has responded to her complaint. Mr. Allen said if what my Disney sources are claiming is true, that this show is nothing more than a glorified sizzle reel being put together on a shoestring budget. It would be the biggest scandal in Hollywood, and his litigation team is committed to exposing the truth. So for the Lucasfilm spies who are reading this right now, it's officially time to panic.
I took a deeper look into this and found an article at that Park Place. They did some investigative journalism and reached out to Robert Allen. Mr. Robert Allen was kind enough to call me while he was working remotely from home on Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. He corroborated that he had spoken with someone on the day of April 5th, but he could not recall if the person was Cameron Pasha. He said he didn't remember that name.
So what's the topic of discussion?
I've been hired by Darth Melvin to investigate the disappearance of Robert Allen.
I see, yeah. Robert's disappearance, yeah.
So it's nothing that official. I just have some basic questions about Robert Allen and yourself.
Did he invest in FTX?
No, actually, he hasn't. Some cash was missing. His car was gone. So was some luggage. That's it.
No one is dealing with the homicide squad yet or anything, right?
No, not yet. As I said, we're not sure. Basically, no one's seen or heard anything. So typical, isn't it? Just strange. One day someone's walking around, going to work alive, and then nothing. People just disappear. Hollywood just opens up and swallows them. Eerie. Really eerie. Listen, you'll have to excuse me. I have a lunch meeting with Michael Winkler at Four Seasons in 20 minutes.
He did not corroborate that he had reached out or called anyone on April 5th in the way suggested by reporting from the Patreon accounts. According to Pasha, the conversation was very noteworthy, so I was surprised he didn't remember Pasha's name.
Do you remember where you were the night you talked with Robert Allen on the phone, which was on the 5th of April? God, I guess I was probably posting to my Patreon. I had a date with a girl named Stephanie Janisek. That's not what I got. That's not the information I've received. Well, I wait. What information have you received?
Mr. Allen said that if what my Disney sources are claiming is true, that this show is nothing more than a glorified sizzle reel being put together on a shoestring budget. It would be the biggest scandal in Hollywood. Surely Mr. Allen would recall the person giving him info that would constitute the biggest scandal in Hollywood. I read this quote to Mr. Allen verbatim and asked him to confirm it if it was accurate. Mr. Allen stated that he would not have said that and does not remember saying anything that could be construed in such a way.
How about lunch in a week or so when I've sorted out this information? Great, yes, I'd like that. And if you could try to pin down where you were the night of Robert Allen's disappearance, it would make my job a lot easier. Absolutely, I'm with you on that one. Huey Lewis and the Sparrow. Great stuff. I just bought it on my way here. You heard it? I mean, I don't really like sparrows. Not a big music fan, huh? No, I like music, just there. Huey is too eccentric for me. To each his own.
Huey Lewis and the Sparrows.
Doesn't remember Cameron Pasha. Denied saying The Acolyte is a sizzle reel and a big Hollywood scandal. And it's also interesting that Mr. Allen used the term sizzle reel when that is the same term that Cameron has been throwing around in his Patreon. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Wow.
Personally, I think the guy went a little nuts, so split town for a while. Maybe he did go to London, sightseeing, drinking, whatever. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he'll turn up sooner or later. I mean, to think a Hollywood screenwriter made up a fake conversation and killed him to cover it up would be too ridiculous. Isn't that right, Cameron?
The Acolyte is not the only project that isn't happening. The Rey movie isn't happening either.
Is Rey returning to Star Wars? A source response. My personal opinion, based on analyzing Star Wars with a pretty good track record for the past 5 years, is that Rey is finished. There is no economic reason whatsoever for Disney to even consider putting Rey in as a character in a future Star Wars project.
It's very stupid for many reasons to continue with Rey.
Yeah.
But Disney is doing it because fucking up Star Wars is what they do best.
Yep.
It's always been the plan to continue Rey's story.
Last night, spare about if he/she, if he or she, if they, I don't know what gender Sparrow is, was saying there'll be stuff like Lego Star Wars or transition stuff to move into the new era where the sequel trilogy is decanonized.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Lego Star Wars or transition stuff to move into the new era where the sequel trilogy is decanonized.
What the fuck are you talking about?
At Star Wars Celebration 2023, Kathleen Kennedy's Viking funeral didn't happen. Predicted by Cameron Pasha. A Rey movie was announced, and Daisy Ridley walked out on the stage.
Yep.
And so Sparrow says this was a tightly kept secret. This whole announcement was a tightly kept secret. The Office is more than a little shocked about the Mangold, the Knight, which is this alleged Rey movie, and the Acolyte announcements. These things didn't seem to have any planning outside of Kennedy's inner circle.
The Acolyte was announced before, well before.
Yeah,
this
weird that he
whole
couldn't like
celebration.
peep into the books that he totally has access to see that they were spending money developing these things.
Yeah. Fucking hell, man! Could you be less transparent? Fuck.
Miss Charmin Obaid-Chinoy is directing the Rey movie. Stephen Knight is writing the script. After Star Wars Celebration, there was the writer's strike delaying production. This has allowed Cameron Pacha time to deny the movie is happening. The fake Rey movie is another concept that did not originate from Sparrow. It started with Cameron. The non-existence of the Rey movie is essential to Cameron Pacha's con. He's always claimed the sequels are getting retconned. Don't be a black pill. Star Wars will get better. Have hope. But if Rey's story is continued, his message, his rumors, his Patreon falls apart. FTX, The Acolyte, the fake Rey movie, they start out as Cameron Pacha theories, which are then later supported by Sparrow.
Yeah.
That is because Sparrow is a fake source.
Sparrow
Cameron Pacha
is Cameron.
is Sparrow.
Yeah.
And on June 6th, the biggest story from Sparrow breaks. George Lucas may be buying back Star Wars.
Due to the conversations about the sale of the studio, Disney's implemented an indefinite hold of all unproduced Lucasfilm projects. That includes the second season of Ahsoka, the Jedi Origins movie by James Mangold, and of course, the fake Rey movie, announced by Kathleen Kennedy. The projects aren't canceled, but development is being suspended until the future of Lucasfilm is settled. And of course, this would include The Acolyte, which Sparrow still does not see evidence for being a fully funded series.
Furthermore, the ancient Pacha method of storytelling really is in full force on this Patreon post.
Sparrow is hearing rumors inside the Lucasfilm office that there is a major Disney accounting scandal due to the off-book financial mismanagement, and that the bookkeepers are being tasked with covering up a multi-billion-dollar hole through complex accounting shams. By overhauling Hulu on the books, the transaction is hoped to paper over the mysterious black hole inside Disney's ledgers. A black hole that may very well be the FTX scandal. I've been positing since Bob Chapek was unceremoniously fired 10 days after FTX collapsed last year.
All of the Sparrow scoops are connecting. An FTX scandal, financial crimes by Disney, fake Acolyte show, fake Rey movie. This all needs to be covered up and sold to George Lucas himself.
And finally, in the midst of all this chaos, Kathleen Kennedy didn't show up in the office today. Sparrow, bitch.
Unlike some other con artists, there's no ambiguity to Cameron's Patreon post. He definitively predicts what will happen. Most of it can be easily debunked. George Lucas didn't buy back Star Wars. Months later, he's not in the discussion. That was all clickbait. Kathleen Kennedy's Viking funeral didn't happen. Cameron predicted that Kathleen Kennedy was going to be fired after Indiana Jones 5 flopped at the box office. Indiana Jones 5 flopped at the box office, but Kathleen Kennedy still remains at Lucasfilm several months after that. Cameron was wrong about The Acolyte. Disney has spent $49 million on pre-production. There's no indication the show is being canceled. There's nothing that supports the Rey movie isn't happening. When these projects are released, how is Cameron Pacha going to spin this?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, that's
you can
crazy.
only tell a lie for so long. You can only spin a narrative so much until others start catching on, until it all blows up in your face. But when it does blow up in his face, will Cameron Pacha's patrons see Cameron for what he is, or continue to accept the Sparrow programming?
Look at the people on the screen.
I know. I love the screen captures. Like the ones he has for Pasha are great, but like the ones he gets for fucking Janicek are just fucking great.
Yeah.
I mean,
On the next episode of The Sparrow
I
Files,
can't wait for the next
we will
one.
reveal how Sparrow's agenda is not just limited to Patreon. Cameron Pasha is aided by the popular YouTube channel Overlord DVD. We will divulge on how Doomcock plays a crucial role in the con. I'm Darth Melvin, leader of the Knights of Melvin, and this is The Sparrow Files.
Well, fucking round of applause, man. That is fucking brilliant. Fucking brilliant. I am
Great
dropping that
videos,
link.
great concept, great execution. I mean, just the time it took probably to do that, like those scenes with God, what's his name? William Dafoe.
Yeah.
Like, and then editing Pasha's in there, like to have his head animated in the
And,
like
yeah. Fucking that takes a lot of work.
that had to take a lot.
Yeah. Fucking great job, Melvin.
But then the research too, going through and like breaking down the timeline of his predictions and like, hey, isn't it convenient that like he comes up with a theory and then whoop, Sparrow comes along and confirms it. It's a pattern that I assume you'll probably get into in the next video. I don't have any inside knowledge or anything. I mean, I've streamed with Melvin and stuff, but like, you know, he doesn't, I'm not included in any of his planning or process, but
yeah,
he, this is something that Doomcock himself does as well, is like him and Pasha come up with some sort of theory, and then lo and behold, other sources come along and confirm exactly the things that they said after the fact. It's not ahead of time in parallel to these other things coming out to be like, no, I did a video and then 5 days later, some guy called me and said like, yeah, what you said is right. Well, wow, what a shock.
Yeah. Man, but some of that shit, like that takes a lot of work to be able to fucking get all of that together, and fucking brilliant, man. That's so good. All 3 videos have been excellent. I will
The
say
second
that.
one was really good. I think that's the one where he was getting into oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
He was getting into the second one.
Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought. Sorry, something distracted me in the chat. Yeah, super chat you can cover though.
Yeah. So Darth Spampton for 5 says the Sparrow Files is way better than any Disney Star Wars content and any Dave Filoni Star Wars content combined. Agreed.
Oh,
Agreed.
yeah.
It's way better constructed, way better. Like, just, man, like I said, the amount of work that goes into 3 videos like that, and what, we're going to get a 4th. I don't know whether or not there's even a 5th, but it wouldn't surprise me. Man, this is some great.
Yeah, if you guys are not subbed to Darth Melvin, and Knights of Melvin, sorry, this is his official channel name, like get over there and sub to him. Like just the effort that he's putting in to the videos alone is worth a subscription, but like the content itself is fucking great. And the fact that he's breaking down these timelines and how these fucking frauds and scam artists operate.
Yeah.
Like it's been very plain to me for quite some time. Like I'm not really learning a whole lot of anything new out of this stuff. Although like the ones where he's going through like how much he's been cheerleading Disney product was surprising to me. I didn't realize like at the level that he was literally cheerleading a lot of these Star Wars projects, including like clunkers like Kenobi.
Yeah.
I mean, like definition of a fucking show.
Yeah. I just want to touch on this because obviously we watched this and the stream got sort of taken down while we were watching it. Dr. Coffin Nails, thoughts on the Darth Maul Apprentice? Man, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good, really well done. I love how it sort of just fits in its own little bite of time. Palpatine sent him there to basically kill these Jedi. And I thought it was really good. I thought it was really well done. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And this is the other thing too, is like there's a lot of Star Wars fans out there that will do Star Wars better than Disney. And that's a good
That's just a
example
low
of that.
bar, honestly. Like,
yeah. And it was such a simple story, simple little isolated story. Yeah, I thought it was really good, Dr. Coffinails. I like it. I liked it a lot. Thank you. All right, let's wrap up Seal of the Week here, and we'll wrap the stream up. So let me just bring this up, and we'll end the poll. Okay. So in last place was number 1, the Shippers. They deserve to be.
I was the only one that voted for it.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Damn you, audience.
Number in third place, or second last place, with 21% of the vote, was number 2, Star Wars Theory. In second place, runner-up this week, was Jacob with 24% of the vote. And the winner of this week's Seal of the Week was Around the Galaxy with their stupid take on the anniversary of The Last Jedi. Do you want to watch it again?
No, I honestly don't understand why that was people's choice.
No, the people have spoken with 42% of the vote. They thought it was a fucking stupid take. So there you go. Around the Galaxy, you win this week's Seal of the Week.
Hello, the Jedi.
Beautiful. Congratulations. I just want to check my Streamlabs side. We're all good over on Streamlabs. You guys are great. Thank you to the chat. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks for the super chats, and thanks to all the members. You guys are awesome. Love seeing the seal clapping emojis in the chat. Greg, thank you for coming on from the very beginning all the way through.
Well, not the very beginning, but...
Well, pretty much. He reserved the right to leave, and he didn't leave. So that means he must have enjoyed himself.
I stuck with it all the way through. Well, I mean,
That's
the
right.
teaser, being able to watch that Darth Maul video again was enough to keep me staying.
Enough to make you stay.
Despite the fact that I disagree with everybody who voted in the poll.
Fair enough. Is there anything that you've got coming up? Is there anything that you want to promote? Let people know where they can find you?
No, nothing really. Not doing a spacing tomorrow night.
No.
So, and then you took all the spotlight for your little date with Tim on the previous one. So I had 2 weeks without the spacing.
Yeah. Hey, he asked me to come on. He wanted to do a bit of a one-on-one interview, and I said, yeah, no worries. Which is all good. As for me, guys, this weekend, like tomorrow night, I may have a cameo or an appearance on the Full Aussie, but I've got my work Christmas party, so I don't know how that's going to go. And being that I'm going to be so drunk, I don't know if I'll make it to Flashcast. I will do my very best to be there. Next week, there will be a Casual Rage, but the following week, there won't be because I'm not getting my day off that week because Christmas and Boxing Day fall on the Monday, Tuesday. So for the 29th, or for some of you guys, it'll be the 28th. There probably won't be a Casual Rage that week, but we'll definitely do one next week, and then we'll have that week off, and then we'll get straight back into it in the new year. Yes, Raging Drunken Rhino. That's right. That's right.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
It is. It is very dangerous. All right, guys, you guys have been awesome. Thanks for all being here. We will see you next week for another Casual Rage. And that's pretty much it. Take care, guys. Bye. If I can find my thing. I'm going to play the one that Greg hates. See you, everyone.
You'd better put a chick in it. And make it fucking gay as fuck.
Going somewhere?
And I want it lame!
Put her on a path of her own choosing, so that no matter which direction she takes, we'll always be one step ahead of her.
What?
That is so lame!
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt!
A few minutes? Are you kidding? At the rate they're gaining?
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like dusting crops, kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. Or bounce into a supermarket and then...
Yeah.
Be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're losing the deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking it very cautiously.
You go away.
Bounce too near a supermarket?